wins. And okay.
Yeah, they're not in good shape at all.
They're also not in good shape for conference.
Remember, they were picked third in conference.
Yeah.
How was the flight yesterday, David?
The second one was delayed. I got home at 11:30. But
how long did you have in Atlanta?
Well, it ended up being 2 hours.
UTSA down 14 early with a big comeback.
And cover.
And how about John Fanta saying, look out for Providence? He didn't pick it because he was doing the game, but
I love John Fanta. He looks like Chris Farley with glasses, but he sounds great. I just love him.
That was funny.
He looks like Chris Farley doing the Down by the River. I mean, that's
which I saw yesterday. No, the day before, Monday. It popped up on Twitter. I don't know if it was an anniversary or whatever, but somebody just said my favorite SNL routine ever. I love when the guests are the people in the skit are laughing.
David Spade can't control himself.
Right. And Christina Applegate 2 or 3 times just put her head down and let her hair come over her so that you couldn't see her face. Right. I mean, it's like Jimmy Fallon. Okay, when I need more cowbell, and Fallon is losing it in the band, and he can't lose it, and Will Ferrell's just pouring it on. I need more cowbell. Apparently, Christopher Walken these days is okay with it. For a long time, he bothered him when people came up to him, and that's it. But for whatever, in the last, 2023, he just, he's like, what the hell. Good morning, Behind, Coffin Ball, Paul, AJC. I missed. Who did I miss? Ambien, Albar. Wancho first in the house this morning. Paul, you're slow off the trigger this morning, Paul. You were like 6th. Look at that. Mongo. The Lightning fan, Roger. Oh, very nice, Roger. Little parlay of Lightning win and a Kucherov goal, leading the NHL in scoring.
That's one of the most fun bets to make, is take a team and then take a goal score in a little parlay.
Good morning, Doug. And as we are very fond of saying, Trent, it's always nice to have a Vasilevsky.
Here we go.
This is my birthday balloon for my wife.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. The final Wednesday before the big fella arrives on the scene. Hope your week's going well. Let's get over the hump together, shall we? How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network. floridasportsnetwork.com. I'm back in my cozy confines. Mark is in his cozy confines. How are you?
I'm doing great. Pretty good little college basketball night last night. John Fanta got me fired up. So I watched some hoop last night, watched a little hoop, little hockey. Had a good night.
Fanta with a tease on the show last night. We're like, John, thanks for coming on. He said, hey, I'm calling Marquette Providence tonight. And I'm just saying, watch out for Providence. John Fantas. When it comes to the Big East, John is all over that conference. He called it last night. So, and you heard it right here first on Miller and Moulton. Trent, how happy were you yesterday that we booked a national college basketball guest?
On a scale of 1 to 10, a solid 9.5. Look, I love the football talk as much as anybody, but you guys were like, we're going to talk some Big East basketball. And I got fired up.
Well, actually, we were talking college basketball.
Well,
John at the end just brought it back to, Mark, maybe Trent is an old soul. All right. His voice is a lot older than he is, a lot older than he looks. Maybe, like the two of us, we're both old souls. I think I'm older than you, but we're both old souls. And maybe Trent, because he is longing for like the days of the Big East.
And he's a rock and roll fan, which means he's an old soul in and of
Right.
itself for that, because there's no such thing as rock and roll anymore.
Who knew that Trent would have been a huge Big Monday fan back in the day? Oh, my goodness. He would have loved Katie and Knight and Henson and the Blazers and those coaches at 9 o'clock on Monday. Grumpy that they're having to play at 9.
Judd Heathcote's 3-strand of hair standing up on his head as he's making a traveling call.
Yep. Katie adjusting his hair because it moved. Right. Ah, man. So the college hoop season is alive. It's alive. As we transition to, whatever. What is it? Week 16, but it's game 15. Isn't that how it goes?
You got it right.
That's
Because
exactly
everybody
how it
gets
goes.
a bye. So, yeah, that starts tomorrow. And nothing screams the NFL like a big showdown of 7-7 teams to get the week started.
Playoff implications. I don't know what you're looking at. I'm looking at two teams trying to find their way into the postseason, David.
Nothing screams the National Football League in 2023 quite like 2 7-7 teams to get the week started. One's in the playoffs, one's on the outside looking in.
Sell it, baby.
I don't know if I'm selling it or I'm convincing myself not to watch, but that's for tomorrow night. Hey, sometimes us sports talk show hosts, we really do know what we're talking about. It's not often, and that's why we take the opportunity to point it out when maybe we're right about something. So when Carolina beat Atlanta 9-7 on Sunday, we and many others said, that's the type of loss that gets you fired. So Falcons owner Arthur Blank, did you see what he did yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
First off, he goes on Georgia Public Television. That's interesting in and of itself. Hey, where'd we get our Blank quote from? Oh, he went on PBS. Wait, what? And he was asked about the future of his head coach. He said, we'll let the season play out. We'll go from there. I might as well say rent, don't buy.
Buy, sell, or hold. Arthur Smith.
Those public TV hits, though, they're a little more in today. That would have really slipped under the radar a few years ago, David, but now everything's out there. Even public TV quotes get out there.
Right. It's the first time that the person who's doing Twitter or Twix, for Georgia Public TV is like, we got to get this quote out. Do we have a Twitter account? I mean, how often do you think they're active on Twitter?
Sesame Street next.
Right. I just, do we still have the electric company? I don't know. So I thought, yeah, see, even the, Georgia Public Television there asking him about, his head coach. That's when it's a bad loss, when somebody in that office is paying attention.
There is no doubt. But last night, good little transition, getting ready for a football weekend with the college hoop. Lightning with the big win last night. They're starting to find themselves getting closer to a playoff spot. I think they're a wild card team now, as a matter of fact.
Technically, points-wise, they are the last playoff team in the East. The problem is they've played a lot more games than most everybody else.
Yeah, I understand that, but winning
Well,
is
that
the
helps.
important part. And
It is.
they're starting to figure out a way to do that.
Well, as we like to say, Mark, it helps to have a Vasilevsky.
And it's certainly helping to have a Kucherov around.
Woo-wee. He's pretty good. And by pretty good, we mean he leads the NHL in points. So, yeah, a winner last night for the Lightning. Aaron Rodgers, yeah, that's breaking news. Hey, after all, I'm not going to play. Really? Really? Can I say this? Can I say on the air he's an attention whore? Or no? Am I not allowed
Well, you
to say
just
that?
did, and you're not wrong.
I knew we were going to bring it up today, but I think you and I have done a pretty good job of ignoring the attention whore for most of the past few months, because there was never a time that I thought he was going to play.
No.
I mean, we talked about this months ago, and you and I said, well, I don't think he's going to play. And you followed up, so I don't think he's going to play either. So every time he said he was going to play, I didn't pay much attention to his Tuesday hits on the McAfee show. And entertaining.
Yeah. I don't care that he's paid to do it. The fact that he still does it, great. Hell, if we could pay guests, we would.
I mean, he's put himself out in the news so much that Tom Brady felt he needed to get some quotes out there.
Quick sidebar. Is this how Brady's going to be as an analyst?
I just didn't realize he retired in 2004.
Are you saying Tom sounds old?
Well, apparently the game he played is very different from the game that's being played today, even though he played last year.
Right. Right. Apparently, though, he was playing a different style game than everybody else. He reminds me, Tom Brady sounds like the guy who's been on tour the last couple years playing persimmon drivers. You know what? I'm going to beat you doing it my way. I know you got this newfangled technology and what have you. I don't need it.
Right, but most of the rules he's complaining about were written for him.
Well,
for him.
We're not written for him. There was one written for him. There was one written for him.
The low hits, that's a Brady rule.
The hit on the knee. Yep.
Touching the quarterback at any point, that's a Brady rule. No, come on. And I love Tom Brady, but nobody complained about getting touched in the face more than Brady and wanted a flag.
I'm with you on this. I completely
agree. And I'm a Mark. Brady. You know I love Tom Brady.
We're both Brady guys. Yes, we are. We love greatness. We're LeBron guys. We're Brady guys. You probably just go right down the list. There are very few all-time greats that Miller and Moulton are not fans of. We love greatness. Even if they beat our team like a drum.
Right.
We're good with it. But no, I'm telling you, he sounds like he's going to be Johnny Miller. We haven't had a curmudgeon in the booth. I mean, every now and then, we love it in the booth, by the way, when Troy gets annoyed. Okay. And we were 3 minutes into the game Monday night, and the officials are taking forever. Okay, to decide something, and we're in commercial break, and Aikman goes, if they haven't figured this thing out by the time we're out of break, I'm going to unload again. All right, and we're just literally the 3 spotters in the booth took 3 steps back like, "Floor's yours, big fella. Go." Sure enough, we come back from break and they haven't settled it yet. And Joe just looks at Troy and says, "Do you have anything to say?" And he goes, don't get me started."
So maybe he will be that way. It is a revisionist history that I find interesting, that it seems like he played the game in a different generation than, this one.
Than last year.
Right.
But he does. He sounds, I mean, he's not quite curmudgeonly, is he? He's not get off my lawn guy yet, is he?
Pretty close. Quarterbacks are getting players injured. It's their fault.
Well, he's right. He's right.
Well, when they said you couldn't hit along the middle of the field, that they told the quarterback to make those throws.
Yes, they want the quarterback making those ridiculous. I mean, they're basically throwing back shoulders down the seam. Are you crazy? I mean, we could rattle off 12 safeties. It literally would have killed you. I mean, it's ironic John Lynch going into the Hall of Fame now. That guy doesn't exist in the league anymore. The league has outlawed that guy even being on your roster. Ronnie Lott. We go right down the list. But I don't know. I feel like Burkhart's going to be working. Greg Olsen, everybody's great. I mean, he's not quite John Gruden in the booth, but Olsen loves everybody. By the way, Greg Olsen is something. He looks to me like, I know we're coming up against a break here, but he looks to me like the young guy who's trying to look older, but his clothes scream, I don't have the money to buy the older wardrobe. I mean, he's got ties that are completely outdated, not tied tight. He's got a sport coat that's twice as big, like he's wearing a hand-me-down. I mean, he looks like a disheveled mess. He's good, but he looks like a mess. So the curmudgeon is replacing the mess. That's how we get this day started.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Okay, so Aaron Rodgers has an injury that's literally old enough to where there's Greek mythology about it. He's about to turn 39, or maybe he already did. I can't remember. And he thought he was coming back in 4 months.
Got to admit, though, and Aaron Rodgers, it's tough to get the truth and the whole truth out of Aaron Rodgers, but I really would love to know what this procedure is that he had done.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's just another installment in his little anti-modern medicine thing. Because he's like, I mean, upon further review, yeah, I'm not ready to play, and I would be ready to play in 3-4 weeks. But it's like, I don't know. The way they were treating it, the way it was covered, it's like, Aaron, if you do have a breakthrough in the procedure, can you please share it with the rest of the medical world?
It's been a day off all week. Today feels like a Thursday to me.
Hey, I brought the schedule upon myself, but I'm good morning Cleveland, and somebody going, no, it's Detroit, man. So
yeah, that's a long one because I know you can't ever get out till a few hours after the show when you have the West Coast mornings.
The good thing, though, is that, I was asleep. I packed up right after the show, and I was asleep 40 minutes after our show, and I slept an hour and a half solid. It was a really good nap. You literally, you wake up, throw water in your face, you brush your teeth, and you go.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
It's 21 minutes past the hour. Pat Kirwan's going to join us today. He normally doesn't join us on a hump day, But Pat Kirwan's joining us today, and he's joining us coming up at the top of the hour after the starting five. Seth's going to join us today. He'll be grumpy. His Devils lost in overtime. And he for a middle-aged guy, he wears the game-to-game thing like Trent does. I mean, he's really all in on this hockey team.
And they're not off to a great start.
Not as good as they should be. No.
There's going to be a lot of good hockey teams that don't qualify for the playoffs this year.
This just in. You need a goalie. You've needed one for a couple of years. Get a damn goalie. All right. Back to you, Mark, in the studio. So I enjoyed the report yesterday that Florida State is seriously considering their options in the future about what they're going to do with being in the ACC. What?
Really? Did you guys come up with that one on your own?
I'm sorry. Is this a December 2022 story? Wait, this is new? What, you didn't have a headline? You just needed what are you pulling a Clarissa Thompson here? Okay, I'll just make it up.
It's a report. There's no board of trustees meeting scheduled. They've said they wanted to leave the ACC for 18 months.
Right.
What's new?
What? And today, so not 2.5 weeks ago when they got hosed, today they're upset enough that, and not only that, they might consider leaving. Well, are they considering leaving or not?
Are you really going out on a limb with this story that they might want to leave?
And they are considering their options. Hell, they're talking out loud about wanting to leave in their options. No kidding.
What they're doing is talking to every other ACC school and trying to figure out who's with them. Those are the discussions. So there's a reason why they don't need a board of trustees meeting. The board of trustees is all on the same page. We want to get the hell out of this conference. We've wanted to get the hell out of this conference now for a year and a half. What we are doing is lobbying the other ACC teams because the only way we can get out of this conference is to break this conference up. And if we don't break this conference up before Stanford, Cal, and SMU get in, it's going to be even harder to break it up. Which is why Miller and Moulton for a while have been telling you that this conference is going to be destroyed this spring.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take 1 to 3 years to get the people who have announced they're moving to actually move. I mean, Mark, you do real estate. I mean, so the Florida State's put the sign in the lawn. That's fair to say, right? The house is on the market.
Oh, yes.
They haven't sold it yet. There's a price
in fact, maybe they have. It's pending with contingencies, David.
Is the contingency they don't have the new house lined up yet?
Yes. They're waiting for their financing to come through.
Which neighborhood are they going to be in, Mark?
Well, that's what we don't know. But they have been looking at some land that for a while that was in the SEC. And it appears to me, David, that they may have come across some other land.
I am in my head while you're talking. I am envisioning Florida State as a client of yours and all the driving that you were doing. Okay, trying to get Florida State to buy their new home. Okay,
in the Big Ten, and I want them to buy it in the Big Ten.
That's just it. They want to buy it in this neighborhood, and you keep driving over the bridge to the other neighborhood. They're like, "No, I want to go."
Showing them that this house is worth more, and you're going to get it for the same price.
I want to live over there.
But don't you understand the value over here, and you can stick it to them?
But that's so much further away from work over there.
Yeah,
but a hell of a conversation going on between you and your client here. That's what I'm envisioning in my head. And you're pulled over. You're getting your tacos at your favorite gas station because that's where you do your tacos thing, and then you're sitting there munching on a couple of your tacos going, this client is driving me nuts. I'm going to make a fortune on this, but this client is killing me.
Boy, I need a client like that.
Yeah, but think about how long the sale would take.
That's all right. It's all worth it.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay. Now remember, this client called you up in the spring. You've been showing houses for 8-9 months. You got nutkus. You got a sign in the lawn. That's it. People in the neighborhood are going, don't call that real estate agent. Look, he can't even get their house sold. And other people are going, have you seen the house sold? It's a pain in the butt to sell that house. Plus, where are they going to live?
Well, that's the problem. It's not selling the house, David. People want the house.
Yeah,
it's just where are they moving to?
Well, people may want the house, but they don't know if they can afford it. They want it, but Mark, the problem is you're asking for too much money. That's what the neighbors are telling you. When you come into the neighborhood again to pick up your client to go see other potential homes, the neighbors are going, you're asking too much money. You're not going to be able to sell it.
There's always one buyer out there, David. There's always one.
Well, that's what you're saying. 9th month, you're driving around the, 239.
And I'm trying to explain to them, these guys can't get their act together. We can get this whole thing done, but they can't seem to get their act together. They don't know what they want to do. Help me, help you.
I swear, though, the client is in the front seat and the client might be on their phone or what have you. They look up and you're going over the bridge again and they go, what are we doing going there again? I'm telling you, your future home is in this neighborhood. I don't want to go into the Big Ten neighborhood. Go back around, make a right at the light, go down. I want to go to the SEC neighborhood. No, you don't. You don't. You want to go to the Big Ten neighborhood. I'm going to get a new agent if this keeps happening. Okay, fine. I understand your frustration. I've just got a nice house in blue right up here to the left, though. Let's come on, take a look. That's what I have in my head going on right now.
Well, I thought it was a slow news day that someone needed to write a story about Florida State. They were out of Florida State, got screwed stories. Now it's Florida State's leaving the conference.
It's
stories.
a long media rollout.
Hey, we got anything going on in college football today? Well, we got the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. That ain't enough. Hey, run that Florida State story. Boss, it's not really a story. Run it anyway. Mike Norvell finally talked. He said they're having trouble getting motivated.
Having trouble getting motivated. They're having trouble fielding a team at the rate they're going right now.
Oh, they're not going to be fielding the team that went 13-0. I'll tell you that.
And then everybody's going to say, "Oh, see, we were justified."
Yeah, I know. It's funny when the SEC team mails one in at a bowl game. The SEC fan goes, "We just weren't interested in playing." Oh, okay. But when their opponent literally is not interested in playing, they go, see, that's why we deserve the spot in the playoff. They weren't that good, see? I don't know why I broke into that voice either.
Didn't know that the 20s gangster voice. Hey, see?
Exactly.
Hey, we're going to play Florida State, see? I'm going to go over there and rob that bank.
Go get me a Shasta. See? But it's not looking good for Florida State. I mean, man, oh man, it's just they're good players too are not interested in playing.
Why would they?
Listen, we said this goes back to McCaffrey and Fournette. This was still our first act when McCaffrey and Fournette were like, we ain't playing in these bowl games. We're going to get drafted in the first round. Miller and Moulton, starting fives next.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hey y'all, it's Ben Allen. When it comes to singing and performing live shows, I'm in my comfort zone. When it comes to wanting to surprise my wife with diamonds, I'm a bit lost. That's why I go see my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. Jason and Todd helped me blow my wife away when we got engaged, and I've been applauding them ever since. If you're in the market for diamonds this holiday season, Southwest Florida has been giving Jason and Todd a standing ovation for over 20 years. Go see them and let Jason and Todd know that Ben Allen sent you.
Thanks, Ben. We're proud of you and your accomplishments and thrilled that you are part of our Diamond District family.
This holiday season, visit Jason and me at the Diamond District. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Have a Molly Christmas, a Molly-made Christmas. Give your family a gift of a clean house. When you're looking for professional house cleaning services, you want to make sure that you find a team that can accommodate your budget, schedule, and cleaning preferences. Molly Made is proud to provide thousands of families across the country with industry-leading services tailored to their specific needs. Call Molly Made today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymade.com/FTMYERS. You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. You got Pat's number still, Kirwan?
You'll just have to read it to me.
I'll have to show it to you.
Or yeah, that's
His thing's not working? you see this quote from the Avs defenseman?
Oh, no. Hang on here. Pat, you there?
Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Oh, so I've been switching buttons around trying to, but I didn't think it was going to work. But if you got me, then we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Well, there it is. Like, I don't consider myself having any technology, but I have like 7 settings. I just said, let me try this one.
I was going to tell you today to call your grandson up, get him to fix this thing.
He'll be here tomorrow. It'll all be done. Well, very good.
All right. Talk to you in a couple.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks.
We're good.
Nice work, Pat.
Because there's no rhyme or reason now to the NFL schedule because of, I believe it was because of the Monday night game getting flexed out. They put games back to CBS, and somehow the Bucs ended up on CBS last week. I can't explain that one because it was 2 NFC teams.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes before the top of the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Pat Kirwan joins us at the top of the hour here on Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com, as we're just a handful of days literally away from Christmas. It is time now for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
This should come as a great shock to you, but number 1 is the NFL. And Aaron Rodgers turns out is not going to play this year, except for those 4 snaps against the Bills. Wow. We all thought he was going to be able to come back from blowing out his Achilles. But he's not 100%, he said. I really shouldn't come back unless I'm 100%. Of course, he didn't say he was like 85%. I mean, yeah, no kidding, you're not 100%. You might be 24%, for goodness sakes. But, Mark, actually, the news is not that he's not going to play the rest of this year. Yeah, no kidding. It's that he said, I'm probably going to play at least a couple more years with the Jets. He goes, this year, that doesn't even count as a year. He goes, so I doubt next year is my last year. He goes, I might play 2-3 more years. Basically, he started sounding like, he's going to pull a Brady. This just in, Mark. He ain't going to play long behind that offensive line.
No, he's not, because that offensive line's one of the 4 worst, 5 worst, maybe even 3 worst in the league.
Yes, it is. Whatever number you want to put on it, you could argue it's the worst. It's really bad. And I know he gets rid of the ball really quickly, not quickly enough playing behind that line. Let me tell you. So that's the Aaron Rodgers news from yesterday. Back to you in the studio. Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud, they say, likely to miss another game. He suffered a concussion late in the loss to the Jets 2 weeks ago. Didn't play last week. Texans able to get by the Titans in overtime. Yeah, they got Myles Garrett and the boys. Speaking of Myles Garrett, did you see the little video that was produced on his behalf? Remember 2 weeks ago, he complained about the officiating. That they're not calling anything. And he got fined for it. I mean, you can't do that.
Right.
So, of course, he played last week, and you think they called a holding penalty on somebody trying to block Myles Garrett? No. Well, video was produced with showing all the holding that was done on Myles Garrett last week. It's really bad. I mean, he just got mauled. I mean, there were a couple felonies there. No penalties, but felonies.
Well, you want less laundry. Which one do you want? I mean, can't have it both ways.
Well, I think he just wants to have it one way. You know, just how about a flag? Any flag. Colts suspend wide receiver Isaiah McKenzie and cornerback Tony Brown for the rest of the year for, quote, conduct detrimental to the team, unquote. Damn, they're winning, too. They're in the playoffs.
What, were they making bets on the team? What the hell were they doing?
Well, just not in the parking lot.
Right.
Can't do that. To leave the parking lot. Go to the side of the road. Falcons owner Arthur Blank, asked about the future of head coach Arthur Smith, said, quote, well, we'll let the season play out and go from there. Translation, if we don't make the playoffs, he gone.
Thank you, Hawk.
They're back to Taylor Heineke at quarterback. If you were the Falcons, would you trade for Fields?
I would consider it. I would consider signing Kirk Cousins. Put it this way, David. There's not a quarterback out there that I wouldn't have a discussion about because they need one.
Fields, obviously, you know, he's from the area. And what are the Bears going to do at quarterback? That's why that's a common talking point. Here's the deal. Fields, this is year 3. So the Bears or someone else can pick up his 5th-year option. You can get a starting quarterback pretty affordable for 2 years. I mean, that's the deal. If you acquire Justin Fields, that's a pretty affordable starting quarterback for the next 2 years. Very affordable as starting quarterback salary goes. You give him a 2-year run with that team. What do you say?
It's kind of a 1-year run, though, because then you're going to have to sign him heading into that next year.
Not necessarily.
I know you could franchise him. I get it.
So you got 2 years, and you got 2 years at a very affordable rate. That's the deal about acquiring Justin Fields. Now, would you give up a first-round pick for him? What if the Bears were just willing to do that? Just give us 1-1. That's all. We're fine. We're going to move on. We're going to draft somebody, Williams or May, with Carolina's pick. Okay? You give us your first-round pick. The Bears would have 3 first-rounders, by the way, if they traded Justin Fields. Just saying. College football, the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl, Mark. We were in trouble early. We said take UTSA and lay the points. They were down, 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, quickly.
And then they said to Marshall, that'll be enough of that. Texas San Antonio 35-17. That's a win and a cover. And Florida State defensive end Jared Verse, he had 2 monster games to end the season against Florida and Louisville. Yeah, his next monster game will be in the NFL, where he's expected to be a first-round pick. He's opted out of the Orange Bowl. NBA. You know, if you can get a Ja Morant back, that can really help a team win.
It can. I've heard that.
And let's just say you lose 19 out of 25. And you can add a Ja Morant to your roster. You can go on the road and beat, say, New Orleans. Morant with 34, including the game winner at the buzzer in his first game back from this 25-game suspension. The Grizz win 115-113. Giannis a triple-double. Lillard with 40. You get the idea. Milwaukee over the Spurs by 16. Good one out in the Bay Area. Golden State down 11 going to the 4th. Steph and company rally. Steph with 33, including the dagger in overtime. Warriors beat the Celtics 132-126. Portland was down 22 to Phoenix, and they lost 7 in a row. At least it shows they're not quitting on their coach. So they rallied, snapped their 7-game skid. Former Sun DeAndre Ayton with 16 points, 15 rebounds in the Blazers win over the Suns 109-104. College hoops, Providence upset 6th-ranked Marquette by 15. The game of the night was supposed to be in Memphis, Virginia and Memphis. A couple of ranked teams. Memphis beat the Cavs by 23. FGCU, back in state, avoided the upset to winless Georgia Southern. They were down at the half. They won a slugfest 53-42 for their fourth win of the year. Stetson beat FIU. Gators in double overtime beat Michigan 106-101.
Entertaining game.
Very.
Watch the second half of the overtimes. It was very entertaining.
They're 8-3. I'm trying to figure out if they're for real or not. They've had some really good performances, even in a loss. They've had a couple shaky ones. You know, Michigan's not a tournament team, but Gators are.
And that was to me, that was a good NIT game last night, David.
Speaking of which, Florida State beat North Florida by 16 to snap a 4-game skid. Upset of the night, though, Cal State Northridge went to Pauley Pavilion and beat UCLA 76-72. Women's hoops, FIU, UCF, Bethune in state were winners. Stetson was a loser. Hockey, you know, it really helps to have a Kucherov. He scored 2 goals. He leads the league in scoring. Stamkos with 3 assists. Then when you throw in a Vasilevsky in nets, man, you got yourself a team. I mean, that is 3 Hall of Famers.
It is.
You throw in a Hedman, who's got banged up recently. I mean, there's 4 Hall of Famers. Anybody else playing for the Lightning we think's a Hall of Famer?
No.
Today. Not
No.
future. Today. That's
No.
so they four future Hall of Famers if they quit at the end of this year, correct?
I believe so.
6-1 Lightning over the Blues. See, Toronto went into Madison Square Garden last week. They not only beat the Rangers, they essentially, after the game, called them slow. It may be true. But the Rangers then went to Toronto and beat the Leafs last night 5-2. I'll take your slow. Wild beat the Bruins in Boston in overtime. Nobody beats Boston at home in the last 2 years, except for the Panthers in the playoffs. Philly, Tortorella's doing a hell of a job. Don't know if he's ever done a better coaching job, actually. And he's a borderline Hall of Fame coach. 3-2 Flyers over the Devils in overtime. And Ottawa, Mark, they fired their coach. And you know what happens when you get a new coach.
They're going to go on a heater.
And they came out in the first period and scored 3 goals. They were up 3-0 on Arizona after 1. Fortunately, they played 2 more periods. Arizona with 3 in the third came back to win 4-3. So much for the new coach. And in 11 minutes before the hour, that was
the Starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
big day today. Big day today. Early signing period starts today. It's a 3-day event, but it's basically today. And it's a monster day for Billy Napier and the Gators. There may not be a program that is going to be more highlighted and dissected today than the one in Gainesville. USC making a late hard run at the 5-star quarterback that the Gators have had wrapped up for a long time.
And by making a late run at him, they're throwing as much money at him as is humanly possible.
There you go.
They're going all NIL.
Yes. This is like baseball free agency where, you've had 2 meetings, you've had a nice dinner, okay? You even got drunk in one of the 2 meetings late at night, okay? And you're definitely signing with them. And then at the last minute, so-and-so comes in and offers how much more? You can't consider going with them. I mean, come on. We told the owner over here we're going to sign with him. Hell, we got drunk with him 2 nights ago. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. They're offering me more money. And I can get drunk with them over there, can't I?
That's the part of this that's good. It was one thing to get out recruited and the money was in a paper bag and you didn't know about it. But when your team is going to be outbid for a player at the last moment, that can really honk off a fan base.
And when you can come out publicly and go, yeah, we give him $500,000 more than you. mean, instead of having to imagine what it was behind the scenes and whether or not mom got a car or what have you, you can just flat out go, "Oh no, man, no, we gave him 500,000 more than you were offering." If you were the kid, what would you do? Billy Napier's offense or Lincoln Riley? Gainesville or SoCal? Hello. Just saying.
And now you can play in SoCal and actually afford to live there when you're a USC kid.
Now, you can't afford to be an assistant coach there, but you can afford to play there.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the road trips are going to be brutal. So we'll throw a little more money on top of the pile. What did we say? But we're joking about a lot of things, but if Billy Napier has any chance of being the Florida Gators coach beyond 2024, they need to have a really good day today.
They need the quarterback.
And they need quite a few other things too. But yes, put it this way. They've been slowly losing. Remember that top 5 class that they had? They've been slowly losing it. It's now barely in the top 10, 11, 13 in places. And
which means that they're 5, 6, 7 in the SEC. That's the other side of this. If you're in the top 15, that's great. If you're in the Big 12, if you're in the top 15 and you're an SEC school, that means you're probably 6th or 7th in recruiting.
DJ Lagway, that's the name. If that cookie crumbles, it's over in Gainesville. Over. He's got to have him. So,
not that anything's riding on signing day or anything for the Gators.
No, there's nothing to see here. It's not important. And the funny thing is, they're still waiting for faxes. Has the fax come in yet? College football's messed up, isn't it? Miller and Moulton. Pat Kirwan next.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we doing, Pat?
Doing great.
How's the house and everything? Everything?
We had some storm up there, and it wasn't all over the place, but right where my daughter lives, and I got this little cabin back there, a massive tree fell down and crushed the utility line. We had no power from 3 in the morning till 9 at night. Thank God she had a generator so we could go up and do the radio show. But that's 2 weekends in a row that I couldn't get out on Sunday night. I'm a little pissed. This week it doesn't matter because we have a show on Christmas Day as well as Christmas Eve. So if you really like to fly, Christmas Day is a good day to fly.
Yes, it is.
At empty airport.
Thanksgiving Day is not a bad day.
No, you know. People are going to be where they're going to be by then, but yeah.
You know
I
what,
love
Pat?
CBS, but I really don't like this travel anymore. It's wearing me out. I was
Pat,
listening to you guys. Yes.
You know what you need to do for us?
Whatever you want.
You need to send us one of your old CNN SI glossies. Okay? Because, when we've got this Twitch configuration and, you're up there and we don't see you. Okay. I want to put like, a glamour shot of you from like 15 years ago. That's what I want to do. I want to put it up there.
Your chances of me sending you that is 0.
Oh, come on. First off, I just want you to send us something that says CNN SI on it so that we can have a whole generation of people go, what the hell is that?
Yeah. Well, I went there not to get a job. I went there to defend Gary Horton at the time, God rest his soul. He had, and I owned half of the company that he had. And so it was a scouting book, really. And he landed up getting very sick, and they were getting ready to potentially hire him, and he calls me and goes, I can't go, I'm in the hospital, can you go down there and try to get me a deal? Yeah, okay. And so it was called the War Room, if you recall.
Mm-hmm.
And I went down there to kind of wrap up a deal for them to use the War Room for some form of finance. And I get in the room with the 2 head guys from CNN, and about 2 minutes into it, I stop and say, all right, everybody stop here. I look right at the 2 guys and go, neither one of you suckers even read this book. You have no idea what's in it. And I said, I'm somewhat insulted for Gary. And they looked at me and said, yeah, we'll give him some money for the book. You want to do TV for us? That was how that went. 10 minutes later, they put me on a set with Vince Cellini and said, Vince, ask this guy about 10 questions, anything. And I said, sure, okay. So I went on with Vince, and I love Vince. And Vince can be as confrontational as me when it comes to that stuff. We had a blast, and they offered me, and I go, I cannot leave here without a contract for Gary. So write that one up too. I am not doing this without Horton getting his deal. So that was it. That was the start of the stupidity I stayed in.
And the rest, as they say.
Hey, it's been a good run. It's like, I had the funniest conversation last night for about 45 minutes with Pete Carroll about his post game. Did you see the video?
Yeah.
Pete was like, he goes, what do you think of me? I go, I think you're still an asshole. But it was a good asshole.
Can you win a game in the first quarter?
No.
Can you win a game in the second quarter?
He's a riot. He's still a kid.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is a hump day, And normally we don't talk to Pat Kirwan on a hump day, but it's the holidays, schedules, stuff going on. So we're talking to Pat Kirwan on a hump day. He of NFL Radio's Moving the Chains, weekdays 3 to 7, normally on Saturdays 2 to 5, but they're playing so many games on Saturdays now. The show's going earlier and earlier. He's also part of CBS's NFL Today show. He'll be there at the Super Bowl. Pat joins us courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, dozen points in between. Pinchers, because you can't fake fresh. How you holding up?
Oh, I'm doing fine. And, just it's game preparation, which I'm a little behind because of the travel situation I had, but getting there, just grinding through the games. I got 9 games that I think really have playoff impact. You could make a case they all do in a sense, but 9 games that, and does the NFL get what they want? Yeah, they figured out how to schedule things. All of us are old enough to remember when the end of the season was a waste of time, specifically the last week. But there's plenty of games that will have something to do with playoff runs and staying alive in races and everything else. So it's fun that way. And staying alive, speaking of that, I talked to Pete Carroll last night for a while, my buddy, and he's staying alive, trying to beat Philadelphia for all those Eagle fans. Sorry about that, but you're on a mudslide, boys. You better stop the mudslide somehow. But Pete's staying alive in his thing, and his 2 losses to the Rams probably make it impossible to pass the Rams. So I think all eyes on Minnesota. That's the one team that could slip out of the playoffs and open it up for Pete to get in. So those are the conversations I have with guys. And now it's call after call after call about who's getting fired and who's leaving. And there was a rumor that Pete was going to leave, and I just started laughing. And the guy called me and goes, "Hey, you're friends with Pete. Could you ask him?" I said, "I'll ask him, but I'm just telling you right now, he's not leaving. Peter Pan is staying. He loves coaching." All you had to do is see his post-game rah-rah speech, and you realize this is what the guy loves. So those are the things I'm doing. And then I got my ballot yesterday from AP to start putting together who I'm going to vote for, and that's always fun to do. I've got a list of the guys that I kind of like, so I'll hand it in at the 11th hour. I handed it in once so early, the guy goes, "We can't accept it. It's too early." So they mailed it back to me, and then I waited 2 weeks and mailed it back in exactly the way I had it. I refused to change one.
All right, you brought a lot up there. Let's talk about the mudslide that is the Philadelphia Eagles. How is it fixable, Pat? I mean, they've got 3 relatively easy games, 2 with the Giants, 1 with the Cardinals, so they can win their final 3. But how do they fix what's broken right now?
I go right to the defense. I mean, the offense, the kid will run around, Jalen, and win a couple games for you and do what he has to do. But the defense is in a disaster mode. The last 4 weeks, they're giving up 32 points a game. Now, the defense has pushed Jalen Hurts to a place he can't generate. He's not that kind of guy that's going to go get 35 for you every week. And the defense is a mess. You can throw on those guys, and they've been exposed. And I think if you're going to do anything, that's it. And as I said, and you guys agreed with me, a month ago they should have begged Sue to come back and get fortified inside. And he can also play outside on the rundowns, but they didn't do it, which they usually do. And so he's got some issues which I don't think he can solve right now. I don't know how they're going to fix that part of it, because I'm now not looking at them like this week's game. I'm going, can they beat really good teams the way they're handling their defensive woes? And my answer is no.
So you don't think it's fixable? Like, listen, I'm a Giants fan, and growing up, the 1990 team that won the Super Bowl was 10-0 to start the year and then lost 3 out of 4. And Sims got hurt even. And they looked as if they were old and broken. They figured it out at the end of the year. They got through a schedule similar to what Mark said the Eagles have now, and then they did their thing in the playoffs. I mean, a lot of the guys on defense are still the same. They had 70-something sacks last year. You don't think it's fixable?
Well, they're not going to have 70 sacks. They're not that team.
No, they're not right now. I mean, they can't even get pressure on 3rd and long right now.
No, and so I don't see where it's coming from. And I don't think guys wake up and say, "I remember when I was great. I think I'll be great again today at 1 o'clock." It doesn't work like that. And so I am concerned. Do I think they'll be the 2 seed? Yeah, their schedule is 2 Giant games and an Arizona game. They'll probably be the 2 seed. And then they'll probably, as we all know, the 2 will play the 7, and the 7 looks like it's going to be Seattle or the Rams. And that's what I think where their problems will start. So, no, I don't want to, rain on their parade. I mean, they're a nice-looking football team, but you and I talk about this, the three of us. You want to walk into the playoffs hot. You don't want to, crawl in, and they look like they're going to crawl in.
Well, Dallas was flying high. They go to Buffalo, and Buffalo just runs it down their throat. Can Miami do the same thing? Because you look at who the Cowboys are playing here. They play Miami, who can run the ball. Then they play the Lions, who can run the ball. It seems that there's a blueprint. Can that blueprint be followed by the Dolphins this week?
If you watch our show, and I'm not here to promote it, but Cowher keeps talking about this. This is his theme. It's not because he's an old school guy. He said the teams that decided to run the ball in the last week or two, we all see the merits of what they were doing and consider some of the ones. The Indianapolis Colts run for 170 last week. Detroit runs for 185. Remember when Detroit was in trouble? How'd they pull themselves out of trouble? Run the ball. And so it's not, you can't give lip service to it. The Rams ran for 196. So the teams that really either don't think they're good enough to go punch for punch with the big guys, or they're on these mudslides, as I like to call them, they concluded running the ball was the way to go. And so I think, some teams like the 49ers, they just naturally run the ball. But the guys that wanted to do it started to pull themselves out of the fire by running the ball. And if nothing else, in Philadelphia, it couples up very well with trying to keep the defense off the field. Shorten the game. Coach Cowher, I pay very close attention to his instincts because that guy, his record was 100 wins and 1 loss when winning in the fourth quarter. It was some nutty record like that. And I want to write a book about it, and he'd let me write it. If I get the time, I might do it. How to win a game in the fourth quarter. But running the ball is a commitment. And here's what line coaches say. If you run the ball on first down and don't gain any yards, the play caller goes right to the pass game. If he throws an incompletion on first down, he doesn't care. He throws on second down. They will bail in the run game. You have to stick with it. And Baltimore will stick with it. The Rams stick with it. 49ers always did. Detroit's figured out that's the way to get us going again. And the Colts of all teams, because they did it with what running backs, David? The third and fourth string running backs?
Right. And a backup quarterback, although arguably the best backup in the league. But
wait a second. That title goes to Flacco.
Come on.
Come on. 13 yards a game average throwing.
He threw 3 picks last week and easily could have been 4. I mean, come on. He's not the best backup in the league. He's the best backup who was sitting on his couch 4 weeks ago in the league.
I just will beg to differ again.
Okay.
You and I have one argument a day now. That's good.
Yeah, well, you and I have one argument an hour. But getting back to the running the ball thing, we've talked for years now about struggling to put a good offensive line together. Shouldn't this also be a solution? Because teams can run the ball. Linemen can run block. Bad pass blockers can run block. Even the Dolphins' offensive line. Some of those guys are much better at run blocking than they are pass blocking. I mean, shouldn't this be kind of a resurgence? Like, listen, I could go all day on the Jets and everything they've done wrong, but they should have run the ball more. They're a bad offensive line. They're at least running it. They're awful pass blocking. I mean, isn't this a solution to bad offensive line play? Well, let's just run the ball more.
Yes. And it's a solution to bad quarterbacks. Wilson's no great quarterback. How do you help him? Run the ball. How do you help that bad line? Run the ball. And between Hall and Cook and guys that they have on the roster, they could be one of those teams and reduce. The one thing they won't recognize is they wore their own defense out. They beat their own strength up to the point where they're not the same defense. So everything we're talking about can be improved by running the ball. And and I know, the three of us know, do you think one of these offensive coordinators got the job wherever he is because he convinced everyone he knows how to run the ball? No. They all get the job by telling them their passing game philosophy.
All right. Is Dallas in trouble because they can't stop the run, or is that something they can fix? Or are they just not physical enough to play that style of football, Pat?
They're not stout enough, I think. If you're committed to keep running at them, they've got a tremendous group of pass rushers, and I don't think they're stout enough inside to just handle the pressure of the run game. But it leads you back to, remember that about a month ago, the three of us thought that the NFC overtook the AFC for talented, quality teams? Oh, look at this. The NFC, they got the 49ers. They got Dallas. They got Philly. And we started thinking, well, maybe they're better than the AFC. Although the advertisement I was provoked with it all summer was that the AFC is where the talent is. But the NFC teams look better. But now, I think as we get closer to the end of the season, we're starting to see this is the 49ers and everyone else.
Well, we'll find out on Monday. Baltimore will take their shot at the Niners in Santa Clara. Somewhat quickly here, you talk to Todd Bowles every week. Don't know if you have this week.
Yep.
The Devin White situation.
I asked him about it.
Okay.
And now all of a sudden they're making a big thing. I asked him about it, and he didn't want to say that the guy backed out on them. That's a mistake to say those kind of things. But he just said he wasn't ready, so we went on without him. So when a player comes up to you, coming off injury, and says, I don't think I can go, you really can't challenge that. The last thing you really could do is look at him and say, you can play. There's not a coach who has not been instructed by his GM, his owner, and the league. You do not, under any circumstances, start telling a guy you're healthy enough to go. You would expect that they always want to do it. So he tiptoed around it, but he knew. The player said, I can't go, so he moved on. But he finished with, and we expect him to be ready to go this week. I know his skin was curled up when I asked him, but I had to ask him. And then they won without him, which is the only tribute I can make to Todd on that one. The player won't be there next year, will he, David?
No, absolutely not.
No. Take it easy, kid.
And probably cost himself a lot of money, too.
He did. And we all know how this works. The people that are going to be interested in him are going to read and know that and draw their own conclusions. Probably reduced his field of who wants him.
He's Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio Moving the Chain, CBS Sports NFL Today Show, and he's brought to you twice a week, courtesy of Pinchers.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Thanks for today. I really hate when I have to change my schedule, but for you guys, but I did.
No, thank you.
So, are we having growth in the range of this radio station of yours here?
I believe so. We're supposed to add 2 affiliates next month.
Good.
So we're leaving the state next month. We're picking up Huntsville, Alabama, and we're supposed to be picking up Jacksonville.
Outstanding. Good.
So
you guys, you keep competing. That's for sure. How's the other crowd doing over at the studio you're at, Mark?
Oh, they lost their one guy. I don't even know what's going on with them, to be honest. Pat, I slip in and out of here as quickly as is humanly possible.
Yep.
but we're doing well for them.
Yeah.
Our numbers were really good.
Good deal.
And they're showing their appreciation by continuing to ignore us.
I think you guys both like it that way.
It doesn't bother me any.
It shouldn't.
Even Trent's picked up on their attitudes towards us. Okay, in the hour and a half that he's been a part of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's like shocked when I say hello or anything.
Don't get caught smiling. That could get you out of it.
Yeah, I'm in trouble then.
No.
Trent, walking around the halls there, it's kind of like walking in New York City. You don't make eye contact with anybody. You just keep going.
No. There's not
Don't
one
ask,
person.
don't tell.
They just don't even appreciate they have a job, those guys. And when they have nothing to do you think they'd clean the place? No. There's something growing in that room. Yeah.
E.B. Hill, we're trying to get into Sarasota. There's not a station in Sarasota, Bradenton. There's like no talk stations in that market. They like take everything from Tampa and just let it go. We'll listen to them.
Yep.
Because we would love to be on just a specific Sarasota, Bradenton station, but there's like nobody who even does the format.
That's a pretty big town, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's not Fort Myers, Naples big, but it's, it's a top 100 market in the country.
So are you staying up there? Are you up in New York?
No,
Right. You're down here now?
I'm down here. I came down here yesterday.
Okay.
I had to wait till Tuesday.
Yeah, 1070's that Port Charlotte station, though. I'm talking to a guy on Twitch right now. And it's got, but that gets to about Venice, I think.
Yeah. So you flying back? What? When
Saturday
you got to fly?
morning.
Saturday morning.
Yeah. When the holidays come, they have a 6 a.m. flight. I just take that. I'm in New York by 9 o'clock. And
Okay.
we're on the air 1 to 4 this week because of the games. Right, we have 2 games on Saturday. First one's at 4:30. So that's that schedule. And then we have to see in the playoffs what games we get and when we're going to be on, and that kind of screws up travel again.
I'll be at that first game you're doing, Pittsburgh and Cincy.
Ah, yes.
Jake Browning.
Mason Rudolph.
Yes. I don't call him Mason Rudolph. I call him Starter 25.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
Our remaining moments with Pat Kirwan on this hump day. Pat joining us once again, courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, dozen locations in between. Pinchers, because you can't fake fresh. All right. What the heck has happened in Pittsburgh? Honestly, I mean, they were 7-4. They had Arizona, New England, both at home on the schedule. They were going to cruise into the playoffs again, maybe play Baltimore final game of the regular season for the North title. Oh, seriously, Pat, what in the world has gone on in Pittsburgh? Are they just not a good team and we didn't realize it?
They were a better team earlier in the year, so they've gone the wrong direction. And we were talking about running the ball. Did you see them unable to stop the run? I don't recall, I'll make a couple comments here. I don't recall them ever having a run defense that looked like this. They used to go years without giving up 100 yards rushing in a game. That was their MO. Then I never saw a team, and I'll say this, that looked to me like they gave up, which is I guarantee the owner is not happy with what he witnessed, because the one thing you can never say about those guys is that they play like that. We saw the Chargers do it, and we kind of go, well, and that happens. You never saw the Steelers do it. So to me, there's a deeper concern now about a lot of things. So I would think Mr. Rooney will find himself deeply involved in this. And I saw him a couple years ago when he hired Todd Haley. He was tired of watching a team that couldn't run the ball. And he hired Todd Haley, and I remember that summer. And Todd was an intern for me. He ran the ball literally every play in practice. So one of the days I was there, and I go, what are you doing? He goes, Mr. Rooney wants to run the ball. We're going to run the ball. We're not going to fall in the crutch of the pass. So now I think they've got issues that are going to have to create some form of overhaul. Do I think Mike Tomlin's leaving? No. But I wonder sometimes if they offer him the opportunity to go, would he take it?
That seems to be where you've been, David. You don't think he's getting fired, but you think he might just leave.
I think it's going to be a mutual agreement. I think the Rooneys are going to go to him, talk the big picture long term, and I actually think they're going to mutually agree that it's been 17 years and we probably need a change, and Mike, quite frankly, you do as well. And I think that Tomlin's going to be elsewhere.
And for a team that needs an identity, Carolina, maybe Washington, there's a couple places where he'd be a big sell to a fan base that's decided not to buy season tickets anymore. So there's merit for some other clubs to want Mike. And Mike, I said this to you before, Parcells used to say to me all the time, every coach has a shelf life. And sooner or later you realize they're not listening to my speech. And Mike is the wordsmith, right? So Mike leads with the way he talks to his players. And if they've clicked them off, and I didn't say they did, but if they have, Mr. Rooney has to figure that out and move on. And maybe Mike would like to go too.
Do you think Baltimore is the clear best team in the AFC right now, Pat?
Yes. And of multiple reasons. Lamar didn't get hurt yet, thank God. That makes them hard to beat. They can run the ball. They have sacks from 15 different guys on defense. So I do think that. Do I think they can get a run for their money? Not from Miami. Until Miami beats someone with a winning record. Kansas City, yes, of course. They're Super Bowl champs. That's still Mahomes. I talked to Rashee Rice yesterday. He's really coming around for them. But when I look at the whole list of teams, everyone, as we talked last week, every one of the wild card teams as of now has got a backup quarterback. So, yeah, I do think it's Baltimore, and I think they'll be the best team, and I think they'll be hosting the AFC Championship game.
Jacksonville has the tiebreakers at the moment, but if you were handicapping the AFC South, which team are you leaning on putting your chips on?
Jacksonville, and that doesn't make me real excited, but I think with Trevor, they still have a different situation. Indianapolis, Stroud's not going to play again this week, most likely. that's going to affect them somehow. They're not even in the playoff yet, I don't believe. So sitting in the 8th seed. But Indianapolis, interesting team. I'm a big Minshew fan as a come off the bench guy. I wouldn't be paying him to be my guy, but I love the way the guy plays. I did say the other day, when the off season comes, I'm going to find out where that camper is down in Naples and interview him down there. And he lives in a camper in Naples. So I've got enough friends in the police force that'll tell me where that thing is. Yeah, it's just the way it is. But Jacksonville, do you see it different than that? I don't.
Well, I tell
if
you what.
Stroud was playing, I might.
Yes. If Stroud was playing and he was back to his full form, yes, I agree with that. But he's not, so I knocked them out of the box a little bit here for now. And they're running out of time to make it. You know, that's the next thing. Like, is Indy going to lose to Atlanta this week? Probably not. You know, so how are they getting in?
Well,
Cincinnati's got to play Pittsburgh. I'm sure they're drooling to do that the way Pittsburgh is right now. Cleveland,
I
they're
believe
going to take care of Houston for everybody.
I believe the Colts and the Texans still have a meeting, so that could be an elimination game between those teams in the wild card. Listen, I know he's not going to win it, but if the Colts make the playoffs, he better be on the short list for Coach of the Year.
Oh, yeah. You know me. I keep a list every week, and who wins the weekly prize, and then the guy who has the most wins is the guy that I'm going to vote for. So my list right now, in order for today, Steichen, Dan Campbell, Stefanski, Harbaugh, Shanahan. And I'm not a guy who thinks I got to give it to the new guy on the block every year. I don't believe that. And every year we do that. And right away, people go, well, no, it's Coach of the Year. And that's why, for me, John Harbaugh and Shanahan are on the list and with strong consideration. But Steichen hit a great, I like a lot of things about him, and I love what Dan Campbell did. And Stefanski, you know.
Stefanski's won with 4 different quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, and unbelievable amount of injuries besides the quarterback. You start looking at that thing and you start realizing Kevin's been gluing this together. So those are the guys that are on my short list this week, and they all deserve to be there. Who's the best coach there? It's Shanahan or Harbaugh. But the other guys are overcoming things, and they're doing things. Lifting up Detroit is a heavy load. And this guy, the way they played last week, you know that he has their attention.
Because they ran the ball, Pat. I mean, back to this whole conversation, what did they do? After throwing it all around the first quarter, they started running the football, and amazingly, it worked.
Yeah. So those are the guys. You might think I've left someone off. D'Amico Ryans had been on that list a couple of times, but he wasn't on it this past week, obviously. So, look, it happens with MVP. What happened to Dak Prescott? A week ago, we were talking on Monday or Tuesday. He was what? At the top of the list. He's not on the top of your list right now. I know that.
No, he is not, but he could get back there in the final 3 weeks. Okay, we've got 30 seconds tomorrow night. Pair of 7-7 teams. Saints at the Rams. Who do you like?
I like the Rams. You know, start looking at what the Rams are doing and really start thinking about how they are playing and the things they do, and go no further than what are they averaging on offense for a month? 33 points a game. The Rams. Now, we know and all recognize, hey, the Rams are better than we all thought. But did you think they were averaging 33 points a game for a month? I didn't. They are. I like the Rams.
It's Pat
I'm not
Kirwan
betting on Carr when I get a chance to bet on Stafford. That's the way that goes.
Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio's Moving the Chains, which is 3 to 7 weekdays, 2 to 5 on Saturdays, and CBS's NFL Today show, joining us once again, courtesy of Pinchers. Pat, take care of yourself. Maybe we'll catch up again on Friday here on Miller and Moulton.
Take care, fellas.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
We doing a plate of the day today, David?
Yes.
When would you like to do it?
We'll do it in the short segment in the 8 o'clock hour.
Perfect.
I think so, Fly Panda. We said that there will be 3 new coaches in the NFC South. We know there's going to be one in Carolina, and whoever doesn't make the playoffs, we think all the coaches will be replaced.
Ah. All right. Kind of my theory is holding true. I've been wondering where these Capital One, Capital One always has these ads for the airport lounges. And I'm wondering where they are. And there actually is one in Pittsburgh. I bet you it's all the airports that were hubs that aren't anymore. Because airport lounge, that used to be a big deal. The airport lounge.
What does that even mean?
Well, like Delta, these airlines used to have the lounge. If you were like, Moulton's a gold medallion member, he could go to the Delta club and hang out there.
Okay.
Get away from the riffraff. Get away from people like you.
I don't go to those clubs.
Why not?
I
think that sounds cool.
One, you don't have very long layovers.
Usually.
If you did, you would be a fool not to go find them and relax.
Well, where are they?
They're in the airports.
Okay, I'll keep my eye out for them now because I never knew they existed. I mean, obviously.
Well, Frontier doesn't have many of them. Neither does Spirit or Allegiant.
Fair enough. Come hang out at the Spirit Lounge.
Serving Busch Light.
Yeah. Busch Light and well liquor.
And some pop-off vodka. Knock yourself out. I doubt you saw it. I was just reading Devin Taves for Colorado just unloaded on his team.
Some guys think they're playing hard, and they are fooling themselves. And in hockey, that's like, walking into a locker room with a blowhorn.
Thank you for showing off, Michael. Thank you for showing off. Hoi polloi.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes before the top of the hour. Seth Everett joins us at the top of the hour. Adam Beasley of Pro Football Network joins us 1 hour from now. He covers the Dolphins. They've interested a few people with their 10-4 start, but haven't beaten anybody worth a darn. They play 3 teams that are worth a darn coming up. Something has to give, right? Of course, one of them, the first one's Dallas. And a lot of people think the two teams are kind of mirror images of one another. Flashy. But deep down, are they soft? That's certainly with Buffalo, Mark, what they did last week, 266 yards rushing. The word out on Dallas is, forgive me, you're marshmallow. Come on. You're not for real.
Which defensively, they're going to give every bit of effort that they have.
Yeah.
Against Miami. It'll be one of their better defensive efforts. Doesn't mean Miami still can't score the high 20s and the 30s because that offense is incredibly explosive.
Doesn't mean that Miami can't turn around and run the ball down their throat.
They should be able to.
Yeah, they should. But got to figure Dallas is going to play better this week than they did last week. And then here's Miami. Okay, could you beat somebody? Anybody? Patriots twice, Jets twice. That's cute. Washington, the Giants. That's cute.
And as badly as Dallas played, you would think the pressure would be on the Cowboys this week, but I think the pressure's on the Dolphins because of what Buffalo's done. And Buffalo's lurking, and Miami knows it.
And the Dolphins also then get a chance to put a little pressure on Baltimore. Because the Dolphins play on Sunday and Baltimore plays on Monday. And the Dolphins with a win, they get to post their 11th win. And Baltimore shows up in San Francisco with 11 wins. So it's kind of like, hey, you guys want to be the 1 seed? You got to beat the Niners. And oh, by the way, guess who we're playing next week? Miami at Baltimore.
And the Baltimore Niners game's fascinating that we all know what Lamar's record is and how good it is against NFC teams.
Right.
Can that continue with Baltimore on the road against an NFC team?
He's only lost once, right?
Correct.
What's he now, 17-1 after they beat the Rams in overtime? It's either 16-1 or 17-1?
Thought it was 16, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna press you on it.
Yeah, it's something to 1. I know that.
Right.
And is it, Joe Buck said something during the broadcast Monday that I didn't realize. This will be only the third ever meeting on Monday Night Football of two teams that have 11 or more wins. No, I mean, I've been doing Monday Night Football since, the Nixon administration. I mean,
Right.
It's been around a while.
But they weren't allowed to flex. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I guess they just never got, the first 10 years of Monday Night Football, they only played 14 games in a season. But so Monday Night Football's from a scheduling standpoint, the league gave them the Aaron Rodgers debut week 1. They get a Super Bowl rematch for just the second time in the history of Monday Night Football. Hell, it's only the 7th time it's ever happened in league history. And then they're going to have their third ever meeting of teams with 11 or more wins. Now, it's Christmas night. I don't know how many people are going to watch.
Oh, I think a few will watch. By the time we get to 8 o'clock on Christmas, you're familyed out. You've spent 2 whole days around nothing but family. Happy, joy. You've had ham, turkey. I mean, you've had enough is what you've had.
Well, here's my question, though. How many people are working Tuesday? That, to me, is the question. If you're not working Tuesday, you're all in.
2/3 of this show's working Tuesday.
Right. The other third's flying. Although I do get to Atlanta at like 5:30. I can do the how the heck are you from, some corner of a terminal somewhere.
Would be fantastic.
All
The invitation will be there. It's completely up to you.
I'll do it.
I can just see Moulton now. Flight's been delayed another half hour. I can do one more segment, boys.
Yeah, but we've got guests. Well, you got to choose guest or the co-host. Mark will be like, well, hell, I always get the co-host. 17 years the co-host. Give me the damn guest. Not bumping Pat Kirwan for Moulton, that's for sure.
I don't think your delay will be that long. You'll be on a flight to Jacksonville by the time Kirwan comes on the show.
I hope so. But so just, interesting. What's out there with the boy, people are really talking up the Dolphins too. If you look at the analytics, the Dolphins are a really good team. Which then you go, well, then why the hell haven't they beaten anybody? And so you got the crowd that's like, nah, come on. They're the Cowboys of the AFC. They ain't going to beat anybody. They're just going to look pretty, beating the teams they should beat. Cowboys had the screw up in Arizona. Dolphins had the 4-minute meltdown against Tennessee. Otherwise, they beat who they should beat, and they don't beat who's any good. And then you got those that are like, listen, once the Dolphins break through, once they beat their first good team, they may not lose.
That's what I'm saying.
I know you are.
Dolphins are going to win against the Cowboys. They're going to go into Baltimore and beat up Ravens team from the week before. No matter how the Ravens do, the Ravens could win against the Niners. They will get beat up in the game. That's what happens.
Dolphins are going to have to beat the Bills to win the AFC East. That's what's going to happen. They're going to have to beat Buffalo week 18 to win the East. I just hope we get the game because they haven't assigned, week 18 games to any of the networks yet. They're literally going to wait until after week 17's games, and then they're going to sit down in an hour and hand out all the assignments. So every night, we were talking to Pat. I don't know if it was on air or off, but he doesn't know what his schedule is going to be the final week because you don't know what game you're doing. That's the game I'm pounding the table for. Come on, NFL. Little Buffalo at Miami. Let's go.
What's the criteria of the game that you get?
Well, the game that NBC gets, that's the first game that gets handed out. NBC would prefer that the game be winner is in, loser is out. If there's one of those games, NBC demands that they get it, and the league wants the last game of the year to be win and you're in, lose and you're out. Remember, the last game of the year last year, Detroit had been eliminated when Seattle won late in the afternoon, but Green Bay with a win was in. Green Bay with a loss was out. And the Lions ended up beating Rodgers and the Packers in his final game there.
Looking at the schedule for Week 18, that very well could be Houston and Indianapolis.
It could be. The one that I thought it also could be, but when they lost at Carolina last week, it screwed it up. I thought NBC might get Atlanta at New Orleans for the NFC South. But now Tampa Bay has said, it may go through us. Thank you very much. For the longest time, Mark, Pittsburgh at Baltimore looked like a perfect Week 18 game.
Now, the Rams could be a win and you're in, but the Niners will already be in.
Right. And probably have the one, if the Niners win their next two, they've locked up the one, so they could not play everybody Week 18.
But Buffalo-Miami seems like it's going to be the sexiest game for Week 18.
Could be. Could very well be. What will be interesting is, since Buffalo loses virtually every tiebreaker, that even if the Bills keep on keeping on and win the next two to get to 10-6, are they still going to have to beat Miami to get in? And it turns out they could beat them to maybe win the East, host playoff games. And think about it, just maybe not even as, hell, maybe Buffalo could get as high as the 2 seed if they keep winning. Remember, they have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs. But, yeah, Buffalo at Miami. That screams sexy right now. Because even if the Dolphins go LL, okay, beat Buffalo, still win the East. Right? They would. If the Dolphins are going to win one game the rest of the year, you want it to be Buffalo.
It's the only one you want it to be.
And then you win the East. And you'll be the 3. And then, okay, you see who you play.
We'll go back to August, Dolphin.
Right.
Win the division, be the 3. You would have all signed up for that.
And think about it, you're probably playing a backup quarterback in the first round of the playoffs at home. I mean, right now, Cleveland's the 5. And then you got a bunch of 8 and 6 teams. Well, we can go down the list of the 8 and 6 teams. I mean, outside of Buffalo, they seemingly all have a backup quarterback. Houston right now, their starter's hurt with a concussion. Indianapolis, they're playing Minshew. So I'm curious about that. And today is the first day of the early signing period. This is a monster day in college football. And yes, quick sidebar, they have to do something about their calendar. This calendar is so messed up.
You got teams getting ready for the playoff that have to stop everything they're doing to recruit. You think these teams care about a bowl game, or do they care about signing day? They care about signing day.
It's also a transfer portal deadline where kids have to decide so quickly. So they're bailing on bowl games. They're bailing on playoff games. Also, we're doing signing period. Kids, who are transferring, does this affect it at all as to where they go? By the way,
there was a big signing story out there that Florida State had flipped the number 1 recruit overall from Ohio State, but it looks like it's not going to happen now.
Yeah, there are 2 big-time recruits at Florida State late in the game. They're trying to flip a Gator and Buckeye commit. And most 24/7 and On3 people believe they will not flip them, but they are the horse coming on strong on the outside. Just like most On3 and 24/7 people don't think USC is going to flip the Gator 5-star quarterback commit, DJ Lagway, but USC is coming on strong on the outside.
I liked it better in February. It stood alone. It was its own day. You could really get into it. It's just throwing this right into the middle of the muck. I understand why, because kids want to enroll early, and I get all of the reasons why they've done this, but it's just messy, like the sport.
I love early signing. I would make it earlier. I would allow it that whenever a kid wants to commit, he can commit. But if you're not going to do that, Mark, let's move it up. Why are we waiting until December 20th? College championship Saturday was what, December 2nd? Why didn't we have this 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it could have been December 5th, the Tuesday after championship weekend.
Or if we were making it a Wednesday or Thursday, the 6th or 7th, whatever damn day of the week. I mean, early signing and National Signing Day happen on Wednesday. So why wasn't this on the 6th? Why are we waiting until the 20th? Right in the middle of everybody's bowl preps, okay, college football playoff preps. I mean,
transfer portal. This is really messy.
Yeah, why didn't we do this 2 weeks ago? I'd make it even earlier signing day. But they do have to do something about this calendar. It's a disaster. Between the transfer portal. I mean, the backup quarterback at Texas has to leave the team because if he stays with the team and they play for the national championship, he literally will not have time to go to talk to a coach and visit a school that he's going to play at next. I mean, come on. It's absurd. So he has to abandon the team.
And he's not staying there. If he was, why doesn't he just stay? We know the depth chart there. He's not going to play.
Well, Quinn Ewers hasn't even said he's going to enter the draft, and we got this Arch Manning kid. Seth Everett's next.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Have a Molly Christmas, a Molly-made Christmas. Give your family a gift of a clean house. When you're looking for professional house cleaning services, you want to make sure that you find a team that can accommodate your budget, schedule, and cleaning preferences. Molly Maid is proud to provide thousands of families across the country with industry-leading services tailored to their specific needs. Call Molly Maid today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Good morning.
Well,
Seth?
good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. What's your thought on this Paul Feinbaum clown? Did you see the article that I'm talking about?
No.
No.
Oh. Apparently, Paul Feinbaum was on College Game Day. I don't know. I couldn't pick Paul Feinbaum out of a lineup. And he said that Kyle McCord's decision to transfer to Syracuse is utterly perplexing. And his line is, I thought he would land at a major school. But Syracuse is an utterly perplexing decision. Screw you. I mean, he's right. He's just for the record, he's right. It's just mean. It's just mean. That's all. You don't have to be mean. If mean gets clicks, then do your mean hot takes, Mr. Feinbaum, who could be
Probably
sitting
a guy
next
who's
to me at
been
the
at
grocery
ESPN
store
so
and I
long
wouldn't-
and had to listen to all these idiots in his ear talk about Syracuse football for the last 10 years, and he finally took the opportunity to take a shot at Syracuse football and did. That would be my guess.
So he
probably got sick and tired of listening to all the people.
So
at
he's
ESPN
on
talking
his
Syracuse.
right. He's sitting at his desk. He's doing a job for all the people that watch him. All
Lots,
thousands,
lots.
millions.
One of the big voices
Millions.
of college football, Seth.
Let's make him Ryan Seacrest for all I care. He took a shot just to be a jerk. There's no purpose. There's no analysis there. I know you said it to be mean. So
yes,
fine.
Yes.
Right. That's why you guys are good radio hosts, because you break things down. You don't say things.
Oh,
just
that's
for
not true.
effect.
No, we don't.
Oh, I
Come
say
on now.
things
We
to be
say
mean
things
all the
to be
time.
mean. Yeah.
Just to
I
be
just
mean?
direct him. I just direct him at the University of Michigan most of the time, not at Syracuse.
Or Notre Dame. Right. Oh no, come on. I mean, Seth,
Fine.
I'm as snarky and sarcastic as they come on air too.
I think I don't know. I think the thing is,
Seth, we've been mean to you.
Yeah, but usually it's to prove a point.
Usually.
All right.
By the way, there was a question in our Twitch chat room. See, I knew you'd be a little surly today after the Devils lost to the Flyers
I was there
in overtime.
Especially with Hughes just giving it away. Here, have the game.
Have the game. Yep. Oh, and my brother's going to help.
Michael F. Hornung wants to know, are you following the Caribou Cup today? Big match, Liverpool, West Ham.
Following, yes, but I'm not watching that.
Okay.
I haven't graduated to the point of watching two random teams in the Premier League play. I haven't gotten to that point. I will watch every Arsenal game, and I am planning on watching Saturday when Arsenal plays Liverpool in the Premier League for the first place. Top of the table, as they say.
As opposed to feeding the dog under the table? Is that it?
I don't know. They call it top of the table, but first place. Right now, we're in first place by 1 point. You get 3 points for a win. If they win, they're in first place. If we win, we're in first place. It's a pretty big game.
Sleeping spotter, you have to realize Seth is in the Northeast. They don't pay attention to college football in the Northeast. That's why he doesn't know who Paul Feinbaum is. Okay? I grew up in the Northeast. There were only 2 college football teams that garnered any attention at all.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And it is 8 o'clock on a hump day, which means A, we're entering the final hour of the show along the network, and B, we start the hour with Seth Everett. He is Sports with Friends and Hall of Justice. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at Seth_Everett. Top of the morning to you. How the heck are you?
I'm good. Ready for another fun week. Podcasts are almost done.
Okay.
Good time.
Well,
got the big Boca Raton Bowl on Thursday. I went, by the way, I tried to prove a point. I went to roofclaim.com. That's the title sponsor of the Boca
they've been
Raton Bowl.
advertising heavily in Florida recently. I've seen their ads everywhere.
But unless I live in Florida or suddenly have property in Florida, what does knowing roofclaim.com do for me? There are some properties, like there's a restaurant in Charlotte that is sponsoring one of the bowl games. Okay, everybody travels to Charlotte for the bowl game. Go to that restaurant. Makes sense. Roofclaim.com? I don't understand the strategy. What is in it for them to be on ESPN?
About 1.5 million viewers.
Of how many?
No. I'm just
how many of
you.
them can do something? I am a P1. I went to roofclaim.com because they're on a T-shirt. I went to the Google and I Googled roofclaim.com.
Okay.
Nothing I can do with that.
The LA Bowl had the same TV audience as North Carolina, Kentucky basketball. The Celebration Bowl had a better audience than Kansas, Indiana college basketball.
Not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. Roofclaim.com is a place that only people in Florida can benefit from.
Okay.
There are 49 other states that have no use for that.
Don't know what to tell you. A lot of third most populous state in the country.
It's very weird.
A lot of viewers.
It's very weird. Did you see that Amazon and baseball are fighting? They're mud wrestling together to save all the RSNs.
That's where I was going to go next.
That's so funny. We're in sync.
I was going to ask you where the Rockies going to broadcast their game next year. So we're all on the same page here, Seth. That.
By the way, we are very interested, just to finish our thoughts on the Boca Raton Bowl, because South Florida is in it.
Yeah.
And they went from 1-11 to playing in a bowl game, and they're playing your beloved Syracuse Orange.
And
And
you lose to them? Oh, boy.
in fact, let's place a bet. Your Orange are favored by 3. I'll just take South Florida straight up.
What's the bet?
I don't know. I mean,
What
don't even
do
know
I have to
don't
do?
even know if I'm going to see you again. I mean,
What do I
now
have
that
to do?
football
Are you
games
guys
are
on
done.
next week?
Yes.
Cool. I'll be in Boca Raton, ironically.
Next week's Seth's appearance is brought to you by roofclaim.com.
I'll be at the roofclaim.com. Could you imagine if I go to their headquarters and do the show from there? That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. And you need to be in a Boca Raton Bowl shirt.
Oh, I'm planning on sleeping in that shirt starting Thursday.
So you mentioned.
I will say just really quickly,
Yeah.
David, and I just need to bring this up. Roofclaim has offices in Houston, Atlanta, and Nashville. So I don't want to hear that it's just a Florida company. You obviously didn't work very hard on your Google search about roofclaim.com. And
you have a bad
you're
roof
spewing inaccuracies about a company that is a distinguished bowl sponsor.
I'll tell you all my research. I saw have a roof, need some help, go to roofclaim.com. Am I eligible? No.
Do you have a roof?
I have a roof. I cannot use roofclaim.com. A hole could form in my roof and icicles could come down and roofclaim.com can't help me.
He's Seth Everett, Sports with Friends at Hall of Justice. Follow him on
It's like
Twix.
Paul Feinbaum just being mean.
Okay, I see you brought up something that you talked about off air.
Well, let's do the sports. Let's do the streaming thing. That's more interesting.
Okay, so Amazon apparently wants to save Major League Baseball, or they want to save all these teams whose cable networks are going bankrupt. And so they're having an issue as to where the games are going to be aired and who's going to see them and how much money am I going to get.
Right. let me clear that a couple of misconceptions there. What Amazon is trying to bail out is the Diamond Sports, who owns the Bally Sports Networks.
Right, I was joking.
Of which there are 11 teams in baseball, but there are 39 teams combined: baseball, hockey, and basketball. And the story is that Amazon only wants to bail out the baseball teams. The reason is because they're negotiating right now with the NBA for NBA rights, and they want that to they don't want anything to curtail that plan, because their big plan is for once Thursday night football comes to an end, they want to pick it up with Thursday night basketball. That's their big goal. The RSNs, they dropped San Diego and Arizona already. Bally's did. And so those aren't going to be leaving MLB's purview. This is the 11 teams that they kept so far. And the story that, at least from the people that I spoke to, is that what they want to do is make this available to Prime. Why would you have MLB.TV? And from what I understand, of the 11 teams, they only have digital rights to 5 of them to even put it on Amazon Prime. So would you pay the same amount for MLB.TV if you knew that 5 of the 30 teams were available on Prime and all I have to do is have Amazon Prime? It's so still very, very muddy. And to me, the viewer is actually going to come out ahead on this, in my opinion, because what's going to happen is they're making this deal to make streaming options available. What Amazon is saying is, what is your Bally Sports app doing? Does anybody have your Bally Sports app? You might as well get roofclaim.com while you're at it.
Oh, here we go.
That was a Paul Feinbaum right there. But the idea,
I mean, let's be honest, or a Seth Everett, you bring snark to the show. It's why we like you.
No. Snark is funny. Mean is not.
Well, Seth, it depends on what seat you're sitting in, because a lot of college football fans heard what Paul Feinbaum had to say, and they found it funny. You found it mean.
It's mean.
We find it funny.
It's still mean. And so what I think will happen is ultimately Amazon's going to help, and they're going to get in business. And I do think there are going to be more games on Prime than there were this past season.
Are there any teams out there like the AT&T teams? Do they have, like, I'm reading that the Rockies don't have a home right now. Are there still teams in limbo of what they're going to do broadcast-wise?
Right. So the Amazon offer is with Diamond Sports, which owns the Bally's. So MLB is planning on taking over. It's the Rockies, the Astros, and the Pirates, in addition to the Diamondbacks and the Padres. What has not been revealed is how much money the MLB, I just call it a slush fund. It's the reserve money that MLB used last year to pay San Diego and Arizona an offset of what they would have received from Diamond had Diamond not filed for bankruptcy and dropped the rights. So now you're in this position where those 3 teams don't know what their payroll can be, because they don't know what their finances are going to be. Most teams don't know right now what their finances can be. San Diego made the Juan Soto trade because of Bally's, because of the bankruptcy. And it's going to raise the competitive inequity even more in a sport that has always been plagued by the haves and the have-nots.
It is ironic, though, that the Padres and the Diamondbacks are both involved in this, because obviously the one had the 3rd highest payroll in the league and missed the playoffs at the expense of the other, who had one of the 5 lowest payrolls and went to the World Series.
Yep. It's beyond ironic. And what I think is happening now, you saw the Ohtani show, which was fancy, and I'm sure they had great food there, and the whole thing with the press conference. But the idea that this is a feel-good story for baseball, it's not. And my attitude has always been is, let's find out where this money settles. Will Amazon subsidize to the 11 teams the money that they would have received from Bally's? Because then you have competitiveness. If they're not, then you have 11 teams that are going to have considerably less payrolls than the 21 other teams, or 19 other teams. My math quick.
Well, and I do find it, the fan bases, there's a game on, I think the Bills game's on Peacock only this week. And I've already seen Bills fans just freaking out about that. I can't imagine baseball fan who's older, and because of that, you think a little bit less technologically advanced, trying to find these games. I mean, they are making it a mess for their fans to find their games, Seth.
The evidence of that has been when Apple TV had their Friday night game or Peacock had their Sunday morning game. People went bananas. Social media was all over. Where's the game? I can't find it. How am I supposed to watch? And I understand that. If you're the Rockies and they're going to announce an app, let's just pick App X. No, well, you can't use X. Elon took that one. Let's use App Z. If you told me in the beginning of the season 130 games are going to be on App Z, everyone can figure out how to get App Z. They'll ask someone to help them sign up for App Z, whatever that happens to be. It's funny that I used X and then immediately thought of Elon.
How can you not?
How can you not?
He's Seth Everett, Sports with Friends Hall of Justice. Follow him on X at Seth_Everett. All right, got about a minute here. Go.
Sports with Friends this week, we have George Clooney, Joel Edgerton, and Callum Turner. They are the cast and crew, George Clooney directed, of the great new movie that comes out Monday, Christmas Day, called The Boys in the Boat. It's a sports movie about the 1936 U.S. Olympic rowing team. It is a fascinating movie. If you like Rudy, if you like Rocky, it's all of that, and boats and water, and it's very, very cool. We also talked to the former British rowing coach for 3 Olympics, because he was the guy that trained these guys, these actors, how to look like actual rowers. It's a really, really fascinating thing, and I hope what it'll do is make you want to see the movie, because I saw the movie, and it was really cool. Hall of Justice is also very cool. We did something about the history of Festivus, because this guy wrote an article and then subsequently a book for the New York Times about Festivus and where it came from. And he interviewed the writers who wrote that episode of Seinfeld. And we did a whole thing, and it's all about Festivus.
And isn't next week your annual, 2 Jews
next week
eating Chinese food?
Yep. 2 Jews hanging out Christmas. Yep, that's Sports with Friends. And Hall of Justice is Aquaman, because I did find one sucker who's actually going to see that movie before Christmas, and we're going to record a review.
He's Seth Everett, Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice, the 2 great podcasts, and he joins us every week right here on Miller and Moulton.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Have a Molly Christmas, a Molly-made Christmas. Give your family a gift of a clean house. When you're looking for professional house cleaning services, you want to make sure that you find a team that can accommodate your budget, schedule, and cleaning preferences. Molly Maid is proud to provide thousands of families across the country with industry-leading services tailored to their specific needs. Call Molly Maid today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, that was pretty funny how Seth didn't know who Paul Feinbaum was. He's like, this Paul Feinbaum guy.
Couldn't even pronounce his name.
Right.
Paul Feinbaum.
Baum.
Like lip balm.
Like lip balm.
Who is this Paul Feinbaum? Nah, he's a national sports talk show host. He's on ESPN. Why?
He dissed Syracuse.
Hey, just being mean.
Oh, that was funny. I thought he was being sarcastic at first.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Hey, send an email after the show that you're going to be sending this stuff tomorrow, just so they know, to give them a heads up. You know,
Sending-
for the you're going to be sending the Christmas show tomorrow.
Okay.
Just so they're aware.
Okay.
Because I'm guessing people are going to start bailing.
Yeah.
Vacation-wise.
That's a good idea, actually.
Which is funny, Nick, because the SEC hates them. They use them, but they hate them.
Yeah, anybody listening from roofclaim.com want to sponsor the show?
Yeah. Mish Go Blue makes a good point. Let's send that segment to roofclaim.com, see if they'll advertise. Brett, I don't know. Well, I mean,
I know because they hate everybody. Anybody in the SEC hates anybody that talks about the SEC because they hate their team.
Because they hate a certain team, and
well, they think he's in the tank for Alabama because he worked in Birmingham for a very long time.
He's from Tennessee, right?
No, he's from the north, isn't he?
I actually think he's from New York, Paul Feinbaum. So's Eli Gold, by the way, which I absolutely love. But here's how I know that they don't like him. Not that anybody listens, but the SEC has its own Sirius XM channel. And you would think that they would just simulcast Feinbaum's TV show on the SEC. No, they don't. The SEC as a conference literally said to Sirius XM, we don't want to run that show live. You want to run it at night to fill time, that's fine. But don't run it live.
That's what they did at the station I worked at in Nashville. They aired the Paul Feinbaum show at like 2 a.m.
But yes, bad golfer. He is he's an SEC. He wanted to be more national. He didn't want to be labeled SEC. And like he wants a spot on game day. And ESPN would only give him a spot on SEC Network on their version of game day. Feinbaum wanted to be on game day. And ESPN said, no. Yeah, it Spitz, which is the SEC, which is ESPN's alternate channel, right? On XM.
Nothing more heartwarming than the guys in the Twitch chat room saying good morning to each other. I love that.
The first 6 minutes there. Yeah. Morning. Hey,
It's
hey.
not
How you
right
doing?
now.
Hey,
Spitz
hey.
says good morning, and then Deadstruck says good morning.
By the way, to the Garcia gentleman who said the Browns are probably the most underrated team, I agree. Totally agree. That's why we're trying to talk up Stefanski for Coach of the Year.
How underrated can you be, though, if you can't win a Super Bowl?
No. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with what they've done this year. I mean, they've lost their starting quarterback and they're arguably best running back in the league. And they're 9-5. And they beat good teams.
No, that's fine. I guess I'm just coming at it from the angle of two things can be true. It's kind of like you can give them some love, but they're
He's
not
talking
really...
about this year.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
We've said when Flacco won his first start, we said, listen, that defense, if you get competent quarterback play, do you really want to see that team show up at your place for a playoff game?
No, they did exactly what the Jets should have done, right?
Totally.
But
too good a defense.
But the problem is that they had a better offense. I mean, the Jets' offensive line was bad.
Yes.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
We have had very spirited discussions on Twitch today during the commercial breaks. Very spirited. It's another reason, twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton. You get the behind-the-scenes stuff. Sometimes we just sit here. I eat. Mark's going through his phone, working on the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, sometimes you get, a few minutes of silence. Zip, zilch, nada. Occasionally Trent will put himself in on Twitch and he'll be like, hey, guys. But
his voice does get higher on Twitch during the breaks.
It does.
It's very distinguished, very radio-like during the show, but apparently he takes a shot of helium right before he talks in the Twitch chat room.
Talking to him half the time anyways. You guys,
and he's a little more out there during Twitch too. He's willing to say the stuff that's it's like, I don't know if I could actually say this on the air, so why don't I say it to the a couple hundred people who are paying attention. They'll make a few comments. I'll see whether or not it works. So Trent Bally in the play of the day, by the way, coming up in 5 minutes, because we were talking to Pat Kirwan last hour at this time, and that's normally when we do the play of the day. So Pat, who's on a Wednesday when he's normally on a Tuesday, Trent doing play of the day in the 8 o'clock hour, and he normally does it in the 7 o'clock hour. Can you tell us the holidays schedules are totally messed up?
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Adam Beasley, Pro Football Network, we're talking Dolphins in 15 minutes. So there. I know I made it sound like a threat. It really isn't. Something to look forward to.
Hey, but when you're talking Miami Dolphins,
you're talking Super Bowl.
Man, I wish we could run that stuff. Now we got copyright. Man, I liked it better when we could just run whatever the heck we wanted.
We can.
Yeah, I know, but then we
do whatever we want, but then the Twitch and the YouTube and all that stuff goes haywire, David.
We're like Michigan. We can cheat a little bit, try to get away with it, but if you get caught, that's when it gets messy. We just can't get caught.
Yeah, but it's real easy to get caught.
It's playing. Really easy to get
They're
caught.
monitoring you. You play a song you're not supposed to play. They go, well, take them off the air.
I just had that was just literally just to get a dig in on Michigan.
We know.
Do it.
Oh, trust me, we know. The audience has picked that up about you. They know you're wearing Michigan clothing, okay, and yet you hate the Wolverines because you're a Spartan. No, we got it.
He's picked up I don't even have to anymore. It's kind of what I like about it. Trent does what I used to do.
Well, once I realized where his alma mater was and that he feels about them the way you do, I'm like, well, hell, now I know why he got the job. I mean, gee, forget the fact you've known his dad since he was 17. I mean, shares your views as a Spartan. I'm like, well, he's part of the show.
Yeah, but the Piston thing, if he'd have let me know on that, it really might have hurt.
That was a red flag.
His chances.
It's unreal. Once again, Pistons with 5 games before January 1st. Will they win one of them, or will they finish 2023 on, what would it be, a 29-game losing streak?
Yeah, they're at 24 right now. But who's counting?
Be amazing.
Everybody. It's the first, literally, with that 24th loss in a row, I actually think it's the first time because now even the 4-letter networks throw them on SportsCenter to show the losses.
Yeah.
And so the streak is at the point now where it's become national.
And Cade Cunningham's dropping a career high.
Nobody cares.
I was going to say,
not one person cares.
Handily.
Not one. All they care about is, are they going to break the record?
That's what I'm
saying. Do you want them to break the record?
Sure. Why not? It's a lottery. It's not like you got a tank for the first pick anyways. You're probably going to end up getting screwed in the lottery and get the 3rd pick no matter how many games you lose. So, yeah.
Well, San Antonio will get the first pick overall. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah, if they're in the lottery, they get the first pick.
That's the way the rules work.
At least if it's a transformative player, the San Antonio gets him. Okay, if it's any other one, then, we'll just spread it around. But Trent Bally with the play of the day coming up in a matter of moments.
Text line's open at 21,000, 21,000. A lot of people chiming in today on different things. Like this gentleman says, I think Buffalo will make a run and be in the Super Bowl.
You're not alone.
This person, we were talking recruiting a little while ago. If the QB flips, that's the Gators QB that they're supposed to get. Fire Billy tomorrow. And then we already have people asking Dr. Roto for advice, David, a day early. That's how excited they are for the weekend.
It's also how messed up everybody's schedule and calendar is this week. You know, Christmas is on a Monday. They're traveling this week, or people coming to them, so they're totally messed up. Remember, the 5-star quarterback who was committed to Georgia flipped to Nebraska. I mean, that's why, you know, if you're a Gator fan, I know this kid, and he's been wearing Gator gear for months. But, man, you got to be nervous, right? I mean, you haven't had your NIL together. I know you kind of sort of got it together now, but it's still not as good as what they're doing in Florida State, by the way. They're paying more than you are to more people.
Yes, they are.
This just in. That's why their recruiting class is consensus number 4. And yours is slipping, Florida. It's down to 10, 11, 12, depending on where you look.
And everything started out, looked as if it was going so well for their NIL department.
And they were 5-2 when they were playing Georgia. I mean, this is going to be great. Now they're getting outbid for players. They've lost 5 in a row. Coach is the personality of a pet rock. Oh, almighty. Lane Kiffin's the answer. Ole Miss just gave him another extension yesterday, which I don't understand. They gave him a contract the year before. They gave him $9 million a year. What the heck? But he's the second coach in history, Mark, to have 2 10-win seasons at Ole Miss football. That's right. They've been playing football for how long at the University of Mississippi? He's only the second coach to have 2 10-win seasons on his resume.
And he loves himself some portal. And he's good at it.
Yep.
Because they're paying in the portal.
And they are loading up for next year because they don't play anybody except LSU next year. No Bama, no Georgia, nobody. They're going to try to pull
Texas and Oklahoma and SEC, and you might have Ole Miss in the SEC championship.
Kind of like Louisville in the ACC title game when they didn't pay Clemson, North Carolina, or Florida State. Yep.
All right, time to get after it. Our play of the day, Trent Bally with the Molly Maid play of the day. What do you have for us?
David talked about it in the starting 5, but it sure does help to have a guy like John Morant on your team. After serving his 25-game suspension to start the season, Christmas came a little early for the Memphis Grizzlies last night in New Orleans. He shot 12 for 24 from the floor, but no bucket bigger than this last second layup.
3 seconds. Morant into the lane, spins, hangs, floats. It's good! 0's on the clock. Morant wins the game in his return. 25 games later, the Grizzlies have shown they are going to make a charge back into the Western Conference picture.
Yeah, I left that part in because I don't know about that part. The Grizzlies are 7-19, but you know, Christmas is kind of the unofficial start to the season in the NBA, including on this show. You know, you're gonna start getting more NBA whether you want to or not. But John Morant, 34 points and is welcome back. And there is your play of the day presented by Molly Maid.
Call Molly Maid today, 774-5839. That's 774-5839. And get your house cleaned for Christmas and the new year. That's a gift that keeps on giving. That's how you get Make It Happen night to happen.
No doubt. No doubt. Been married 27 years. My wife said best present I ever got her was Molly Maid.
Make it happen with Molly Maid.
There you go.
New catchphrase.
By the way, you have to be above 500 in the Western Conference to even get in the play-in right now. Like Golden's, I mean, they're 6.5 behind the Phoenix, who's the 10 seed right now.
I will say that was a really good win for Memphis, though.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
I mean, they were 8.5-point dogs on the road.
Nice, but they're 12 below 500.
Right.
And you have to get to 500 to have a chance to even be the 10 seed right now in the West.
Well, John Morant's averaging 34 points per game this season.
Okay, that'll be enough. Why don't you talk about Cade Cunningham? Because, boy, people are really interested in him and them. Golly. Adam Beasley. People are interested in him. You know why? He's going to talk about the Miami Dolphins.
The greatest football team
that you've ever seen.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. Ooh, there you go. Gators got an offensive line transfer from San Diego State.
Tackle?
Oh, tackle, yeah.
Nice. DC, I will be sure to get a rundown of all of Felipe's thoughts on NBA on Christmas Day. Do you watch that, Mark, or no?
What's that?
NBA on Christmas Day?
I won't watch a play. In fact, I was going to tell you for the starting five on the 26th, you're in charge of basketball.
Okay.
I'll do the football. You do the basketball. I'll do what's left.
number 3, the NBA.
NBA can be number 2. NFL will be number 1. NBA can number 2, and then we'll figure it out from there.
DC, yes, I have 2 Dennis Rodman jerseys, Pistons, old school. No microwave, no Vinnie Johnson. I don't know if they sell those. They should, if they don't.
So your dad and Novak are still tight?
Very. Yeah. They go on a golf outing every year. Novak tailgates at a few Lions games with them.
Okay. Never laughed harder than when he told me that you were your dad's kid. Really? Thanks for that, Tim. That's why he's involved in government. That was weird. He called him and Adam couldn't hear him talking. I literally was listening to it.
Can't hear it.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the top of the hour. Right now, we're having some difficulties hooking up with Adam Beasley. We've got him. He just can't hear us. It's very difficult to do an interview when A cannot hear B talking to him. So hopefully we can get that worked out. Once again, okay, just pound the 8-track machine on the side. All right, it's skipping again, just, Yep.
We're between tracks 3 and 4 right now, David, and that always causes a slight problem.
And I feel as if, we also remember back in the day with the 8-track, it was a certain amount of times it would flip over and it could do that in the middle of a song.
Yes. That was my favorite part about the 8-track because, albums had sides, cassettes were the same size, but there was 4 sides to an 8-track or 4 different, and sometimes the song would just skip from one right to another.
Right.
Mid-song.
In the middle of the song, right. It's kind of like, so do I get to hear this again or do they pick up where they left off? No, you get to hear it again. Oh, okay. Fantastic. So hopefully we can catch up with Adam Beasley of Pro Football Network. Since he covers the Dolphins, we're kind of interested in this team. And they now have a very interesting part of the schedule. Dallas, Baltimore, and Buffalo. 3 teams, all winning records. We'll give it a shot with Adam Beasley, Pro Football Network, ProFootballNetwork.com. You can follow Adam on Twix, Twitter/X, at Adam, the letter H. Beasley. Adam H. Beasley. Adam, it's David and Mark. Thanks for doing this. How are you?
Gentlemen, what's going on? Big weekend coming up.
Is it ever? Listen, you wrote a story, and I know you tweeted it out in the last hour. How should the Dolphins defend CeeDee Lamb? How about just put Jalen Ramsey on him? Is that not a good answer?
I mean, it was a pretty good answer this past week against Garrett Wilson. I think he had him in coverage 40 some odd times, 1 target and 0 receptions. Part of that's a function, obviously, the pass rush the Dolphins had. Part of that is a function of Zach Wilson being a horrendous quarterback. But you widen the lens a bit, and Jalen Ramsey has absolutely been a difference maker for this defense since he's been inserted in the defensive lineup in Week 8. This has been statistically one of, if not the best defenses, certainly one of the best pass defenses in the entire National Football League. But we're about to see how real that ranking is, right? Because over the course of that time, and the opponents weren't very good, and that list includes the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are not a good offensive team this year. It gets real now. The Dolphins are first in scoring. The Cowboys are second. It is absolutely game on for these stars. This is the reason they brought them in. It's the time for them to show up.
All right, but the Stars, looking at the Buffalo game, Buffalo beat Dallas by bludgeoning them. They ran the ball down their throat. Miami obviously can run the football. Is this the same recipe? Can Miami do to Dallas what Buffalo did to Dallas?
Well, sure. I mean, they can. Will they? It's a tough ask. The Bills very, very good offensively, and the Cowboys have been pretty good defensively throughout the course of the season. They've had certainly some warts on the run defense, but what did he? They went for like 260 on 40 carries or something obscene. That's really hard to ask. Right? You're not going to see that again. But can they average 4.5, 5 yards a carry, get $150 on the ground, and provide some balance to a Dolphins passing offense that will need it, particularly if Tyreek Hill isn't back to 100%? Sure, that would be huge. Raheem Mostert actually was a bit frustrated this past week with how he performed, which is surprising because he set the franchise record for both rushing and total touchdowns in a season of that game. But beyond those 2 carries, he didn't do much at all. I think he averaged 2.8 yards per attempt. That would need to be better against the Cowboys defense that, to your point, has given up some yards on the ground this year.
He's Adam Beasley, covers the league for Pro Football Network with a focus on the Dolphins. You can follow him on Twitter/X at Adam H. Beasley. Adam H. Beasley. How is Mike McDaniel, in your estimation, Adam, done? Remember at the end of last year when he did some self-scouting and he said, we needed to run the ball more. We had 2 running backs average over 4.5 yards a carry. I didn't give him the ball enough. How has he done this year in staying committed to the run, in your estimation?
Between the 20s, he's done a fantastic job. This isn't, although they do have 2 really good receivers, as you know, this isn't an offense that is just going to drop back and throw the ball 40, 45 times. That's not who he is. People kind of forget that, for all the quarterback guru title that's been bestowed upon him, he made his bones in the running game. He was the Niners run game coordinator. A lot of the success that he had in San Francisco, he's tried to replicate here. And he did, to your point, kind of get away from it at times in 2022. So, as I said, between the 20s, a down and out basis, there's good balance. Where he kind of really still freaks out a little bit, and we saw some improvement in that Jets game, is situationally. Short yardage, 3rd and short, 4th and short, and goal to go. He gets pass happy. He doesn't seem to show a lot of faith in his ability to pick up a tough yard or 2, which is surprising because he has, an offensive line that's proven that it can run block no matter who's in there. Even that Titans game when it was total chaos on that offensive line, they still ran the ball very efficiently. And they've got Raheem Mostert, who is the best red zone running back, maybe other than Christian McCaffrey in the entire National Football League. And they have Jeff Wilson, who they barely use, which to me has been perplexing because Wilson has been the one guy that's proven he can go get those tough yards. So I think he's gotten better at that, fellas, but I don't know if it's mission accomplished yet. We saw in that Jets game, he heard the noise. He knew he had messed up against Tennessee, being so pass happy. That first goal to go drive they had, 3 straight Raheem Mostert runs, the 3rd one ending in a touchdown. It kind of felt like, the message got through to him finally.
They're going to have to be committed to the run, or do they have to be committed to the run against Dallas? Because Dallas, obviously, you just mentioned the 2 top scoring offenses in the league. In Miami has no problem, obviously, playing at a high scoring method, but do they want to against Dallas?
Yeah, I think they're going to do whatever it takes at this point. And that's the fun part about this team. They've won games on defense. They've won games with turnovers. They've won games with taking the top off the defense, and they've won games by running the ball down their throat. That bodes well. That shows me that they can, they can match up with almost any team in the National Football League, with maybe the exception of the Niners, because the Niners are the Dolphins except better, right? I think what San Francisco is doing right now is head and shoulders above anybody else in the league. But you don't have to beat the 49ers to get to the Super Bowl, and there's a chance that you might not even face them if you get there, right? There's a chance somebody else knocks them off for you. So other than that, you kind of feel comfortable against any team. And the Cowboys statistically are a lot like the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins defense, now that Ramsey is in the lineup, is better than the Cowboys defense. We'll see, obviously, how healthy they are in the front seven and in the back four. They've had injuries up and down that lineup, and defense in particular has gotten ravaged. But assuming Emmanuel Ogba can play, and assuming Andrew Van Ginkel's fine with a broken nose, and assuming Xavier Howard's back, and Javon Holland comes back from those sprained knees, it's a complete defense. So do they need to win a track meet? No. But if they have to go and score 21 points in the last, say, 20 minutes of the game, they're capable of doing that. The issue is this, is that they have put up some incredible gaudy numbers, largely on the backs of bad defenses. And yeah, they scored 30 against the Jets. They had a short field, and Zach Wilson was so horrendous that it kind of tilted the game for them. And the Jets' offensive line is unspeakably bad. Let's see them do it now against what are the Cowboys, the number 5 and number 3 pass defense in the National Football League. Again, the Jets, no slouches at all. But again, that game was so imbalanced, offense versus defense for New York, that the defense is going to give up some stats that probably aren't particularly fair, just what they're asked to do. Cowboys are balanced, not going to be the case. Ravens are absolutely balanced, not going to be the case. And the Bills, as much as we were banging on their defense for about a month, they seem to have figured things out despite all those injuries they've had. We'll see how it goes when they play the Dolphins in Week 18. But it's funny. The lead up to this game, 5 straight teams that are just dog water, right? Just bad football teams. They went 4-1 that stretch, and the reason they lost one is because they forgot how to play defense in the last 5 minutes of the Titans game. It's been like they've gotten through the non-conference part of their schedule, right? Like Alabama's beaten up on the Troys of the world. That's over. Now it's time to play LSU. Now it's time to play Georgia. Now it's time to play Ole Miss. The big boys are about to come, and we'll see really what this team is made of.
Is this team tired of hearing about how they haven't beaten a good team? Is this team are they sensitive about it, getting an attitude about it, or are they as laid back as their coach?
Well, I think they're absolutely aware of it. They haven't said to us, no, this is BS, this is ridiculous, you guys are all full of crap and disrespecting us and all that, because they know the reality. They know that talking point exists because they've allowed it to exist. And you think back, they beat the Bills and the Ravens early last year. Since then, how many marquee wins does this team have? You beat any team 70-20, it's a marquee win, okay? Like, no matter who they played on that day, they would have won that game. They were just playing so incredibly well. And I think that's kind of miscontext when you talk about the Dolphins, is that when they play their game, they're great. They just so happen to have not played their game against the 3 toughest opponents they've had. And then they totally forgot how to play football completely in the fourth quarter against the Titans. So is it causation or correlation, right? Are they just unlucky in when they played like crap and it's fed into that narrative? Or do they play like crap against really good teams and it's because there's a hard ceiling as to how far they can go? We're about to find out. Like, it's great. It's the great thing about sports is all this debate we're having, all this speculation. We're going to find out for real. We're going to find out who's got the stronger part of the argument. And it extends to McDaniel, it extends to Tua, all the doubts. It's funny, guys. I don't seem to remember anyone bringing up questions this week about can Tua Tagovailoa get it done without Tyreek Hill. Obviously, that talking point was bananas last week. You look at the splits with Tua, with Tyreek on the field and off the field, and even going before last week, he was, and even through last week, he was a better, more efficient passer when Tyreek was not on the field. Was he as explosive? Obviously not. When you take the most explosive passer in the league out of the game, your quarterback's, his yards per attempt are going to go down. But on a down in, down out basis, Tua has at the very least been just as good with Tyreek off the field. He's had to listen to those questions. McDaniel's had to listen to those questions. And again, either those questions get answered the next 3 days, or 3 games, or they're going to go into the offseason with an enormous albatross around their neck. It's fun. This is why we love sports, because of this kind of drama.
Yes, it is. And Adam, final question. We have a minute or so, and I know it's early in the week, so you might not be able to answer this, but we have a lot of Dolphins fans listening to this interview that are curious about all their injuries. Anybody that you know that you're pretty confident didn't play last week or hobbled last week, they'll be much better this week?
Deshaun Elliott will definitely play. He's out of concussion protocol, or if he was on the verge on Monday. If he's not out today, he'll be out tomorrow. So he'll be back. My sense is a lot of these guys that were questionable, like leading up to the game, who had the pregame workouts, Tyreek Hill, Xavier Howard, if they were on the verge last week, common sense suggests that they'll play this week. Beyond that, guys, we have to wait and see.
He's Adam Beasley. He covers the NFL for Pro Football Network with a focus on the Dolphins. You can follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at Adam H. Beasley. Adam, an early merry and happy. Hopefully we can talk to you either before this run is over or early in the playoffs.
That sounds like a plan, fellas.
Adam Beasley, kind enough to join us once again here on Miller and Moulton. He's as curious as anybody else, and he covers the team. He's like, this is fun. We're going to find out.
I love that attitude, though. He doesn't pretend that he knows what's going to happen against the Cowboys. And he, like you said, he's as curious as we are, because everything's in front of the Miami Dolphins. It's all there. And they've not performed against a good team worth a damn in a long time. Can they do it?
We can try to break this down. It was week 4 against the Bills. They didn't have Jalen Ramsey, but they only scored 20. Then, it was like week 7 or so against the Chiefs. They only scored 14. And then, they've scored, and against the Eagles, they were without Ramsey, Howard. They only scored 17. So that, to me, is the focus, Mark. And the big 3 losses, they've scored an average of 17 points a game. I think the focus is on Tua and the boys. You score 27-28 against Dallas, you'll probably have to.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hey y'all, it's Ben Allen. When it comes to singing and performing live shows, I'm in my comfort zone. When it comes to wanting to surprise my wife with diamonds, I'm a bit lost. That's why I go see my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. Jason and Todd helped me blow my wife away when we got engaged, and I've been applauding them ever since. If you're in the market for diamonds this holiday season, Southwest Florida has been giving Jason and Todd a standing ovation for over 20 years. Go see them and let Jason and Todd know that Ben Allen sent you.
Thanks, Ben. We're proud of you and your accomplishments and thrilled that you are part of our Diamond District family.
This holiday season, visit Jason and me at the Diamond District. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail
Mark
East.
Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. What time do you get back Christmas Day?
I don't even know. During the afternoon, I think sometime. Okay. It's not late.
It's not super late?
No, it's like a normal 11 o'clock flight, I think. I got to look.
So when are you flying up the 23rd?
Yeah, Saturday morning.
Saturday morning?
Back on Christmas Day, yeah. It'll be quick, but hopefully.
Well, at least you don't have to drive.
No, correct. And.
Because that way you'd have been taking the Benz. You'd have been saying, Auntie, I'm taking your car.
Yeah, I am not taking my bucket of bolts 12 hours north. My hope is that because we'll have the whole family together and we'll be watching the Lions game together, they can just win the NFC North and we'll all be together.
I was listening to the show after ours yesterday, and Jay Will was on and he was ripping the in-season tournament banner.
Oh, yeah.
And then he went into, did you really care who wins the NFC East? I'm going, man, Lions fan cares who wins the NFC North. Yeah. It's a big deal.
Oh, yeah. It's more just like, because I've seen the, Lions fans are getting mocked and just for caring about this so much. And it's like, it's more just getting the monkey off your back.
Yeah. 30
you don't
years.
do, you don't,
I would tell every fan base, come on, man, 30 years since you won the division in a sport based on parity. Come on. You got to cut us a little slack here.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. It's just like, if you don't do something literally since I've been alive, it's
I mean, it's been 32 years since we won a playoff game and 30 since we won the division. I mean, if we could check those two things off, everything after that, I know you'll want more, but honestly, that at this point, I mean, come on, win the North, win a first round playoff game at home. Everything else after that is housework.
Going 9-8 last year was huge just to have a winning record. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
DC's right, though, in the Twitch chat room. Boy, if the Vikings could win this week, and then they go to Dallas and lose, which they'll be expected to.
Well, I think Miami's going to win, and then I think Dallas beats Detroit at home. Although it would be a lot of fun to see Miami run it down their throat, and then Detroit run it down their throat, and then just have the world be in an upheaval about Dallas.
Vikings with back-to-back home games, Lions and Packers. Tell you what, if the Vikings win the next two and Detroit loses the next two,
you're going to be in Detroit.
We're going to be in Detroit for January 6th. Because we don't have a Monday night. The NBC game Sunday night ends the NFL regular season. So we've got
a Saturday night?
We're going to do January 6th, yeah.
One game Saturday and then every other game on Sunday? Is that how they do it?
No, there might be a couple games Saturday. That might be a 4:30 and 8 deal.
Gotcha.
I don't. Actually, I think ABC gets them both, come to think of it. I think it's a doubleheader Saturday.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour. Miller and Moulton. We just did the whole Florida Sports Network thing. This is just the 239 thing. Now, probably going to join another station or two coming up here next month, and we'll be doing the 9 o'clock hour, in other markets as well. But the 9 to 10, we're a Southwest Florida thing. That's it. Brought to you by Todd and Jason, the good folks at the Diamond District. It's Christmas week. They got nothing going on. It's
Probably not busy at all.
No, half staff. Okay,
just walk right in, pick out whatever you want, get a great deal. There'll be no one in the store.
No, not much inventory either. They're down to like 4 or 5 things, right? This time of year. Yep. Just pick what's left on the shelf.
Their diamonds have diamonds. There's so much stuff in there. Right?
I know. Golly.
Trust me, I know.
So, did you enjoy your little visit? How was it? How are the guys?
You know what, David? Believe it or not, I decided to take a stand.
Yes. Yes.
I'm petrified.
Well, yeah, but you were supposed to take a stand, but have Todd and Jason as the backup.
They're still the backup. The problem is I'm going to be in Pittsburgh when I'm giving the gifts.
Well, but I thought you were going to purchase it.
No.
But just not.
No. I listened to the advice of one David Moulton. I took a stand.
Well, wait. I said to take a stand, but to have a plan B with you. I said take the stand, but
no, you didn't.
I did. At first, I said take a stand. Then I realized, wait a minute, we're talking about happy wife, happy life. I care about this guy. This isn't just like answering Joe in the Cape's call about, the Dolphins. Okay. This is, there's legs to this. So it's like, okay, how about this? You take the stand. Okay. But you got plan B right there. Because then if the stand does not go over well, you wait about an hour, an awkward, tense hour in the mother-in-law's house. And then you go, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I think I saw something here. And then boom. So you're going to go just all your eggs in one basket, huh?
Now I don't know. This Christmas has me completely perplexed.
See, here's why.
We're traveling out of town, which I don't like. I like home games, David. I don't like road games.
I know that. You like home games and favorites. We got it. Right. You're road dog this week. I know why you're totally messed up.
Road dog, David. I'm over a touchdown dog in this game. And I've got it. And the pundits are saying the spread should be higher.
I actually like you with the hook, though. I do. Okay. Anytime I get Mark Miller on the road and it's 7.5, I feel good about that. See, here's the other thing, because this is the beauty of being Todd and Jason. All right. They got another one of these big deals like 6-7 weeks later. It's called, Hallmark made sure it's called Valentine's Day. So, if you don't take care of it now, and so to me, you take the stand, but you have the plan B with you. If plan B is not needed, Valentine's Day is taken care of. You're done. All right. If you take the stand and it's not working, well, then you go right to plan B. And you're just a funny guy. I see what you tried to do there. You're funny. So that's why. That's why I think you got to do the Todd and Jason thing.
All right. I just text Jason while you were talking. I'm trying to shop online my way, directly with the owners. Unbelievable. I had, I was there. I thought you had my back, and now you're telling me I need to get in there and have the backup. So we'll get the backup. We'll be ready.
It's just, Listen, I appreciate and I'll have your back. But if you're asking me my official advice, I would take the stand, but have, it's kind of like having that witness you don't want to call. You don't want to have to put your client on the stand, but if you decide you have to, you have to.
I feel like Tommy DeVito right now. I feel like you had me booked at a pizza parlor, and then you asked for more money. And now I'm at a burrito joint signing autographs.
Well, the difference is that if you go with plan B, see, Tommy DeVito's plan B was free. Your plan B is not going to be free. That's all I'm saying. I would still advise you to go to plan B. By the way, smart move by the guy. I don't want to call him a kid. He's 25 years old. He's quarterbacking an NFL team. It sounds a little disrespectful. I can call Trent a kid. First off, he's a year younger. And secondly, he's making $7 a show. Okay, so I can call him a kid. But it's tough to call an NFL quarterback a kid.
Right.
But it was a smart move by the kid. His agent totally screwed up. I mean, had a deal. It was agreed to in a text. And then, his client goes out and throws 2 touchdowns and wins the game. And then so he's like, no, it's double. We got a deal right here. No, we don't. Come on, man. Your word's your word. And Tommy DeVito said to his agent, listen, dude, you can't get me bad publicity like that, okay? Not over 10 grand, all right? Come on. So
He's got the best look of any agent going, though.
It is something.
That's no contest.
It is
That's
something.
not even a race.
It's either the best look or the worst look. It's one or the other.
It's the worst. It's not the best. There's nothing about that look that, it screams wannabe agent.
It's Father Guido Sanducci. I'm telling you, but right out. Honestly, I look at him. I think this is right out of an SNL skit. I'm like, is this real? Is this really happening? And his client,
it may be one by Saturday, David.
And they're calling his client Tommy Cutlets. I mean, come on, this is an SNL skit, right? But anyway, for those not following, DeVito's agent booked him at a local pizza parlor, 2 hours, certain number of autographs, 10 grand. After he beat the Packers, the agent said 20 grand. The guy's like, come on, man, I'm a local pizza joint, 20 grand. I can't afford 20 grand. Well, then no deal. Meanwhile, the guy had already put posters up, it's an Italian eatery. He's Tommy Cutlets, for goodness sakes. I mean,
And then he went and bashed him after Tommy Cutlets was going somewhere else for more money.
Right. So Tommy Cutlets showed up for free yesterday.
Good.
Yeah.
He had no choice.
Well,
No. You're right, David. He had 2 choices. Fire his agent or show up for free. Other than that, he didn't have a lot of choices in this one.
Well, I agree with you. And apparently he's, kind of has now pushed his agent to the side. He's teaching him a lesson.
Good.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I will say the outfit he wore to the Giants Saints game on the sidelines, I thought he was the Notre Dame leprechaun for a second. I'm like, what in the world is this? Speaking of Notre Dame, by the way, they got whacked in basketball at home last night by 20 by a team that doesn't win many games.
Speaking of a team that, college basketball, Indiana won last night.
Mm-hmm.
They had to storm back from behind, went on like a 21-4 run to beat Morehead State. Indiana might be a tournament team. Take them to lose early. They nearly lost to FGCU first game of the season and nearly lost to Morehead State last night. They're wins, and they'll probably end up being, a 7 seed.
They lost a lot from last year. Trace Jackson Davis, Miller Kopp, those were probably their 2 biggest threats offensively. Miller Kopp was a shooter, but they
thought they got a few recruits, though. They've got a couple of players in.
That's the thing.
And they've got to mature.
It's always a crapshoot. To your guys' point, there's really no reason to even put a whole lot of stock into the games until around Christmas time, because you never know how good a team actually is.
But see, I think what Mark's getting at is, let's just say they enter Big Ten play, and we've seen teams before that find a way to do, what do they play? 20 Big Ten games now this year. So let's just say Indiana manages to go 12-8. Well, on paper, that looks impressive. Wow, 12-8 in the Big Ten. But I think what Mark's saying is, I've seen this team up close here, and they may finagle their way through the Big Ten. You have to look closely. Was it a balanced schedule? Did they play some of the weaker teams twice? But you're basically saying you ain't buying the Hoosiers.
And I don't disagree, to be clear.
No.
Okay, fair enough. By the way, Notre Dame lost by 20 at home to the Citadel.
That's a bad loss.
Yeah. That's Mike Bray left that cupboard bare. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Best coach in Notre Dame history. Didn't end well. It very rarely does. That's why it's called endings. They're usually not good. That's why when you get one, you treasure it.
Yeah, that slipped last year with Marine, and then there's obviously, as you mentioned, nothing there this year. That
no. So that time of year, though, college hoops, not a ton, although Baylor Duke tonight, as Michael Hornungs pointed out in our Twitch chat room.
North Carolina and Oklahoma, a couple of top 10, top 15 teams.
Did you, speaking of North Carolina, and I'll try to make this quick because I know we're pressed for time. Did you see the story that Kenny Smith is telling about Dean Smith, a story that he hadn't told before?
No.
So there was a player from Africa playing on North Carolina, and after practice, Dean Smith's talking to him one day, and the guy won't look him in the eyes. And Dean Smith's like, "Hey, son, look me in the eye." And finally, he picks his head up and he says, "In my country, if we look at you in the eye, it's a sign of utter disrespect." And Dean Smith went, Then all of a sudden, beginning the next day, his top assistant, Bill Guthridge, wasn't there. It turns out Bill Guthridge was gone for a week. Dean Smith sent Bill Guthridge to the guy's hometown in Africa for a week to learn about the culture and to learn about his upbringing. And then Guthridge came back and reported to Dean Smith, and so that Dean could then coach him and learn and know who he is and communicate with him better. Wow. How about that story?
How about that athletic department budget they had back then?
That's North Carolina men's basketball. Are you kidding me?
College basketball was different back then.
That was during Mac Brown's first run when he said, "Hey, can I get clean towels?" No, the basketball team's got it, Mac. Sorry.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Florida.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Man, I wish I had a dime for every time I saw an email that said ATM withdrawal. Golly.
The wife's out getting some stuff done today, huh?
This is a very expensive month.
Well, David, at least you can know that your granddaughter's on my refrigerator.
I may need the magnet back, Mark. I don't have much left. Golly.
Have you unpacked anything else since we last checked in
Get
on
those,
that front?
get a bin cleared out today, would you?
Please, I'm barely gonna, do laundry, pack it back up, and go. Have a 5-hour window after the show, and then it's back to the airport. I won't get to a bin until it's probably going to be right before the Super Bowl.
I have 2 texts to get to when we come back. One should carry us through the segment.
Great.
We're getting accused of being Florida Gator haters.
Oh, my God.
David?
Oh, my God.
Sunbelt Billy. David, who gave you the balloon?
My wife. That's why
That's
I left
nice.
it there. Just, let her think that I, care about her and value her gifts and all that. That's what you do, Trent. When you get a gift that you don't really need and what have you, you wear it, you keep it around, you make it visible.
So that's just really quick, just between us here. This is what I'm really trying to figure out, because the wife told me what she spent on me for Christmas, and it's a lot more than we'd planned on spending. There are things that I actually want for Christmas. Like, I desperately need a new golf bag. New golf bags cost a couple $100. I know she didn't ship a golf bag to Pittsburgh.
Right.
And if she did, I'll be pissed because we're paying to have it shipped twice. And if that was the case, put the clubs in it. I'll play while I'm up there. It's going to be 50 degrees. I'm going to get a bunch of gifts that I don't.
You are in a very unique situation this year.
How about if you show up and she's got like 6 Polaroids? Okay, and it's like, this is what I got you, but for shipping purposes, I left them all back at the
Fine. I'm okay with that.
And yes, I know I said Polaroids as a, it's kind of a joke.
Hey, they're coming back. Polaroids are coming back. It's like vinyl.
Get a hoofer.
Is that like a heifer?
Yeah. She did suggest that I buy a cow or a goat for her.
Well, ask David. He's
We
a
got the
rancher.
letter the other day. We were laughing. She gets them now too.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour. Listen, we know some of you, you're caught up in things, you're not paying attention. Christmas is Monday, just so you know. So you may want to visit Todd and Jason and their staff at the Diamond District. Jewelry, holidays, best prices going, great service.
And I can assure you both of them will be in the store this morning.
Because
I have it on very good authorization that they'll both be there this morning.
That's because they know a sucker is coming through the doors. It's like the casino going, Charlie just pulled into the lot. Make sure you get table 4 ready. He likes that middle seat.
Couple of texts we got here. The first one's great that I just had to share. It says, I graduated high school in 1997. My first vehicle was a 1979 Sierra 4x4. It had a working 8-track. My parents had Pink Floyd and Van Halen 1979 albums. I used the 8-track until it consumed both albums. It was glorious. Have a great day. Thank you for the text. That made me smile.
Beach Boys' Endless Summer and Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell were the 2 8-tracks in my mother's longtime boyfriend's Bill 55 T-Bird convertible.
But this is the text I wanted to get to, David.
Okay.
This one I find fascinating. Seems like you two enjoy the Gators' free fall. It's almost like you guys have a deep-seated hatred.
Oh, no. Oh, au contraire, mon frère. No. First off, let's just cut right to the chase. We're doing sports talk in the state of Florida. We really would like all the teams to be good. Can we just get that out of the way? All of them. It makes
Florida,
our life
Florida State,
so
Miami,
much better.
UCF, South Florida. We want them all to be good. The AU, IU, it doesn't matter to us.
You know why? Because then you're all in a great mood. And you know what you want to do? You want to listen to more sports. Why? Because your team is kicking butt. All right. So selfishly, no. But no, actually, I mean, was there a better time than the 90s? Honestly? I mean, Florida State, Florida. I mean, we have waxed poetically about Spurrier and Bowden and how much we loved it. And oh no, I hate what has happened to Florida Gators football since Urban. I hate it. No, but we're very worried about today. Today is an unbelievable tell. If today does not go well for Billy Napier, okay, he's cooked.
And we've got non-Florida fan for you hating Urban Meyer.
Right.
There's a difference between giving Florida fan a hard time because they hated a coach that did what?
Won 2 national titles.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Won 2 national titles, and you couldn't get rid of him fast enough and wanted to kick him in the you-know-what on the way out the door. And we get it. It didn't end well.
Well, once again, the whole endings thing, it usually is, not good. That's why it's ending. But, oh, no. You're misreading. But today is, if you think about it, Billy's been on the job how long? I mean, almost to the day, 2 years. I mean, think of all the work he's put into this. This is go time. This is the high school class in which he is going to show what he really can do. Also, we're how many days into the transfer portal? How the Gators doing there? I mean, come on now. You could be the biggest Gator fan in the world. And I've got a few of them who have texted me this morning, and they're nervous. This is a big day. If Billy can seal the deal today with a top 10 class, it's like, my goodness, the guy's nailed the top 10 class coming off 6-7 and 5-7. This guy can recruit. Now, if we can just get this portal thing going, we'll be Mike Norvell in Florida State in no time.
And they got a hit, but they picked up an offensive lineman from San Diego State in the portal. That's one that, hey,
right. Okay.
Does that hit? All right.
Good.
That's
yeah. Now, I was hoping, since the whole Oklahoma offensive line transferred, that you would brought in the whole line. And I'm not just joking here. I mean, you could use a new line. You could use it upgraded just about every position on that line. I was hoping that you would have bought the Oklahoma offensive line.
And talent-wise, we know where you're at, and it's not where you need to be, and you're going to play the toughest schedule in the country next year.
Don't know if the Gators have ever played a harder schedule than the one they're going to play next
David,
year.
they haven't. They haven't, period.
And we're worried that Scott Strickland has set Billy up to fail.
And then it's the end for Strickland, too.
Right. And so then now it's a new AD and a new football coach. And also, by the way, this AD hired the basketball coach, and he hasn't broken through yet. So, the women's program is still not up to where it should be. I mean, now all of a sudden we start examining, the revenue sports.
But baseball and gymnastics are going along swimmingly.
Crushing it.
I mean, absolutely killing it.
Yeah. And track and field's awesome. But you care about football, as you should. And we're really worried.
And if the quarterback flips, it's over. That's all
over.
we have pronounced. That's all we've said today.
Yeah,
it's not anti-Gator talk. It's just factual Gator talk.
Yeah. If DJ Lagway does not commit to the Gators today, it's over. You might as well make the coaching change now. And unfortunately, you're not going to get Lane Kiffin now. And that's who I would go get. But he's loaded up for next year. He's going to be favored in 11 out of the 12 games he plays. So, Lane ain't leaving for at least another year. But that's who I would get in a year. I'm all aboard the Lane train. I am. I think he's a younger, not as funny Spurrier. But he's just as sarcastic, just as big a wise ass. And
he can coach the offensive side of the football.
And he's one of the 5 best play callers in the sport. Now, Steve was arguably the best when he coached.
But Gator, you'd rather lose 42-39 than 24-21. You just would.
I mean, why did ATN leave? Come on. Help me out here. That's a bad sign. And not only that, he's going to transfer within the SEC. I mean, come on, man. He was already your featured back. He's going to be even more of a featured back. I mean, I'm worried. You're taking our worry as negativity, but we're worried.
Do you think the quarterback commits? Or
Yes.
signs, actually, signs?
I do.
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
So you don't think they're losing him, and in turn, you essentially think this could work out fine. You're just raising the eyebrows.
Well, they've got a 5-star that Florida State's coming after hard on the outside also. Those are the 2 biggies. All right. If they can keep those in the fold, this is a top 10 recruiting class. But, I mean, there's not a lot of positive vibe right now. I mean, this is the thing also about Napier that concerns me. He's very slow and methodical. I'm not sure that college football in 2023 is a slow, methodical sport. I mean, look at what Lane Kiffin's done at Ole Miss. Look at the transfers that Ole Miss has brought in. They're a 10-win team. You're a 5-win team. Where are those guys for you? That's our concern. That's not negativity. That's legitimate. What is going on here? You're Florida. This is football.
And you're treating the portal like Clemson does. Or you're treating it like Florida State does, and you're losing every battle. Why?
So that's all. We're just concerned. Believe me, I want Napier to work.
Because if he doesn't, when will it work in Gainesville?
But I got to admit, I think our money right now is leaning towards this is the end.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Man, you guys are just some Gator haters.
Gator fan reminds me a lot of Michigan fan.
Yeah?
Great school, really tough to get into. Wouldn't know that by their fan base.
Okay.
A fan base is very pretentious. Gator fan's a lot like Michigan fan.
Oh, I can't wait for Alabama to go in there and just.
There was a tweet. I forget if it was, I think it was 24/7 Monday night. And it was a tweet with a picture of Nick Saban. And it said, he's going to have a really good day Wednesday. And it was kind of like implying, we expect a top 5 class and this, that, and the other thing, but that it's going to be even better than you.
Well, he got the A&M 5-star is transferring to him.
Right. I'm getting texts from my wife. She's telling me about all the money she's handing people.
Handing people.
I will say my wife and daughter both have bags for homeless people in the back of their cars. Okay, a little bit of food, a little bit of supplies. And so my wife just, goes in the back of the car, hands a bag, and puts a little money with it. Right. So I'm getting a text. She's telling me about all the people she's helping. I just told her she's only allowed to go to the bank once a day, and she already went. So that's it. It's all the money I can lose today, in theory. Of course, I'm leaving town for 48 hours. Golly.
You should try to take the card with you. Just sneak it out of her because it's just a short trip.
I know. I'd have to get in her purse though, and her purse is like the size of Mozambique, and so.
Oh, trust me, Canada Relief. I am sure that.
Oh, please! It's bars and no, please! It's already been taken into consideration. Canada Relief.
I don't think you understand who you're dealing with here.
No, my wife is beyond liberal.
Funny story. So I'm going to this football game, and I'm actually going to see a friend of mine from Florida who I haven't seen in, well, probably a year and a half at the game. He lives down the road. Not a joke either.
In fact, a buddy of mine just sent me one of those memes, and it's Kim Kardashian just doing this with dollar bills. Okay. He says, that's what your wife is doing. That's actually what I should say to my wife. I'm like, listen, you're giving money away like we're at a strip club. See if that has an effect. Because, boy, she's a big fan of those.
Johnny Mac, let the air out of her tires.
Can't endanger her health now. But the bank card, that would do it. She'd just go to the bank, get another one. Oh, she's got access to her mother's card now, too. So, yes, Bob, she is making it rain.
Here we go.
All right.
Whatever.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Wrapping up the Diamond District bonus hour on this hump day. Tomorrow, we'll look back at the first day of the early signing period. We'll also talk to Roy Cummings about the Tampa Bay Bucks. Dr. Roto will join us to answer your fantasy football questions. There are two people associated with this show who I believe are in their respective semifinals.
That is the case. If you're at this point, and I appreciate us putting Dr. Roto on tomorrow, but if you're at this point in the season, do you really need Roto anymore?
You always need Roto. You can always use a house call.
That's true.
That one move, Mark, it could come down to the one move to decide success or failure. A lot of pressure on Dr. Roto tomorrow.
A lot of pressure on the fantasy guy who basically won the regular season because they had their bye. Now they're playing the hot team, and you can choke it all away this week. Everything you've done can be taken away from you. So David, you're right.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm asking all my Roto questions off the air because I'm not giving any of my buddies any sort of intel on what I'm doing, who I'm starting, what direction I'm going.
Do any of your friends, have they found out that you actually have now the ability to talk to a professional fantasy football handicapper on your own? They're aware of your private conversations with Dr. Roto.
I don't think they are about that specific. And I don't intend to.
Would they want to throw you out of the league because of it? Would they think you have an unfair advantage?
They'd probably complain. Yes. That's what my friends do, especially with fantasy football.
That's what we all do with fantasy football. That's why no one wants to hear about your team. But tomorrow we let you pick your lineups with Dr. Roto.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
We start in 1803, where the French flag was lowered in New Orleans, marking the formal transfer of the Louisiana Purchase.
That was a good one.
Best money we ever spent. Alaska might have been better.
There you go. There you go. But it's top 3. That's a real estate deal.
Wonder who got the commission on that. It was today in 1860 that South Carolina votes 169-0 to secede from the U.S.
See? They were serious.
They were really serious. There wasn't even one abstainer in that one. That's what I found most ironic about the whole thing.
What could you put on the ballot in South Carolina today that could get a 169-0 vote?
Today in 1921, they voted to have the World Series go back to a best of 7. The American League voted to go to best of 7. The National League wanted to stay best of 9. Kennesaw Mountain Landis, the tiebreaker, the commissioner, opted to go to the best of 7 series.
See, that was when the commissioner had real power.
Connie Mack buys the Athletics for $42,000 today in 1940.
And then never let anyone else manage them.
It's a Wonderful Life premieres today in 1946. Elvis gets his draft notice today in 57. Godfather 2 premiered in 74. Guy Lafleur scores his 500th goal today in 1983.
The Flower.
This one's mostly for David, just to honk him off a little bit. Today in 85, Denny Potvin passed Bobby Orr to become the all-time leading defenseman scorer.
He was tremendous. He really was.
Yeah, but if you could say anything about Potvin, what would it be?
To his face, I'd tell him Potvin sucks.
Today in 1991, the NHL improves expansion teams to Ottawa and Tampa Bay.
You know what? I mean, we've tolerated the whole Ottawa thing, but for Tampa Bay?
Who would have thought out of these two
right,
that the team that would be one of the elite franchises in the league would be the Tampa Bay Lightning?
Most people in the sport were like, really? We're going to do the Tampa Bay thing? What are we doing? I'll tell you what we're doing.
Scream was released today in 96. The Gangs of New York was released today in 2002. Harvey Firestone and Branch Rickey both born today. Peter Criss, the drummer from Kiss, is 78 years old today. Nate Newton is 62. Chris Robinson's 57. Jonah Hill's 40. And Mbappe is 25. What did I miss?
Well, they opened the Berlin Wall for the first time today in 63. They constructed it. It took a couple years, but today was the first day in which we said, okay, you guys on this side want to go visit people on this side? All right, line up. Orderly. Okay,
or we'll shoot.
Right. We'll allow like 4,000 of you a day. And by the way, when we mean a day, we mean a day pass. Got it? Don't make us come after you. Or as Mark just said, we'll shoot. By the way, we're going to be like this for the next 25, 26 years, okay? We're going to be in a foul mood about it too. Don't give me a hard time. So that's really about it.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
Jessica Vincent was at the Goodwill in Richmond, Virginia. Apparently, they do it a couple times a week, and she saw a vase. This isn't a vase. This is a vase.
Gotcha.
Red and seafoam green. It stood out to her. Turns out it was designed for a famed Italian company, Vanini, in 1942, and the $3.99 she spent on the vase was auctioned for $107,000. For the bad, we'll bring it back to Florida, where a 19-year-old man was arrested in Collier County after fleeing a traffic stop and crashing into another vehicle. He was doing over 100 miles per hour when the accident happened, and then decided it would be best to flee on foot. Inside the car, they found some weed. They finally apprehended the rider and the passenger. They'll spend a little time in the pokey. And finally, the ugly. We go to St. Petersburg, Florida, where Daniel Palermo was arrested on misdemeanor battery charges. He was at a Wawa, and he became agitated that his chicken was not cooked properly.
At a Wawa? Wait, you you expected your chicken to be cooked properly, not at a Popeyes, not at a KFC, not at a Zaxby's, not at a Chick-fil-A, but at a Wawa.
At 1:20 in the morning, Daniel decided to walk up to the counter angrily, and then he threw his chicken at the worker that was covered in spicy Nashville sauce that got into the victim's eye.
Mark,
According to the report, the Wawa employee did not suffer bodily harm.
I would have beaten that guy up. They would have arrested me.
And that, David, is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, December the 20th, 2023.
Throw food at me. Never mind at 1:20 in the morning.
And at a gas station.
My
You know how much-
chicken's not done right. Yeah, you're at a Wawa, dude.
At 1:20 in the morning, what do you expect?
If it's cooked, we consider that a positive. And I'm a big fan, by the way, of Wawa. It's not an anti-Wawa thing. The Heat and the Magic are playing tonight in Orlando, one of 10 NBA games. Orlando at home, favored by 5.5. I would love to know the last time the Magic have hosted the Heat and were favored.
It's a dadgum good point.
5.5, too. No Jimmy Butler tonight, though, for the Heat. If you're into the NBA, there are actually a couple of very interesting matchups tonight. Like the Timberwolves are in Philly to face the Sixers.
That's a pretty good game right there.
Little Gobert and Towns against Embiid and company. Also, Red Hot Clippers in Dallas to face the Mavs. So, if you got the package, that sort of deal.
Not to mention Boston at Sacramento. Two pretty good teams in that game as well.
Celtics had to go overtime last night in a loss to Golden State. Will they have their legs with them tonight? 3 games in the NHL. 2 of them are nationally televised. Islanders and Caps are the 7:30 game. Islanders, a big surprise. They're having a terrific year. Ovechkin has 5 goals in 28 games. This is more than a thing. I mean, Mark, the fewest goals he's ever had in a season was 24. He only played 45 games that year. So he was actually on pace to score about 45 goals that year.
He's on pace to score 14 right now.
Right. He has 17 points in 28 games. This is like third-line winger stuff. This is Alex Ovechkin, who came into the year with 822 career goals. He has hit a wall. This is unbelievable.
Well,
he's old.
He's old. It's actually believable, David.
But come on, he scored 42 goals last year, Mark, 50 the year before that.
Right, but when you're old and you hit the wall, you hit the wall, and he hit it.
But
he ran right into it.
But did you think that when he hit the wall, he was going to hit it at full speed?
David, I thought he could score 20 in the power play for the next 10 years. I'm not joking. With that shot and with that body, I thought he could put his ass on the half wall and just let it rip for the next 5 years.
Mark, I did too. I thought literally he might play 10 minutes a night. It'd be the 5 power plays, and he'd be hanging out on that half wall. He'd score a goal every other game, and he'd still have 40. I really did. I'm totally with you. He's got 5 goals. I think 3 of them are empty net.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
So anyway, that's the early game.
For the lead of the all-time empty net goals earlier this year.
Right. By the way, the late games, the Kraken and the Kings, TNT, 7:30, 10 o'clock. Hey, I will say, the Bissonnette guy who's on the TNT, pre and post and what have you, he's got guys riled up in the league. I mean, this is a good sign for TNT and for hockey that you actually have a hockey commentator that players are getting angry at and taking on. I mean, he's become their Barkley.
Good.
Only he was a fourth-line guy who played an hour and a half. Okay, but I'm serious. This Paul Bissonnette guy, he's stern. He's got the Spit and Chicklets, I think, podcast,
Yes.
and it's good stuff.
College hoop, Duke and Baylor. We mentioned it earlier in the show. Go at it. Connecticut's on the road at Seton Hall in ranked games. Connecticut's number 5. A late game, Alabama's at Arizona. North Carolina takes on Oklahoma, and Gonzaga's hosting Jackson State in ranked teams playing Creighton and Villanova as well.
We have no college football, no bowl games today. What the heck? 412 bowl games, and we can't get one?
It's because people are getting excited for the Boca Raton Bowl.
Is that it tomorrow?
It's just Boca Raton Prep Day, David.
Well, and then you've got UCF, Georgia Tech, and the Gasparilla Bowl. I mean, back-to-back. Teams
Hide your women
alumni
and
floor.
children.
Huh. Never mind Troy and Duke in the Birmingham Bowl on Saturday. Got the famous Idaho Potato Bowl Saturday. Just getting started. So there you have it. It's early signing. It's a 3-day thing. It's today, tomorrow, it's Friday. It's really today. There are a few people who will want their moment in the sun, and so they'll wait till tomorrow. But for the most part, by the way, DJ and LJ, if you're a Gator fan, DJ Lagway, the quarterback, and LJ, the defensive guy that Florida State's coming after. You need to sign DJ and LJ, your 2 5-stars. You do? Today's at least going to be good. There are others. You're battling Auburn for a couple guys, Bama for a guy. I mean, Miami for a 5-star, but DJ and LJ.
You get DJ and you get LJ, you may want to ask for a extra present at Christmas.
For an OBJ. That's what Mark meant.
Right.
Right. That's where he was going.
Something like that.
And I was worried earlier if I could say attention whore on the show. My goodness.
This is the bonus hour, baby.
That's right. That's right. Mark's going to visit Todd and Jason so he can get one of those OBJs.
Darn right I am. They know I'm coming.
Oh.
Save Christmas with Todd and Jason at the Diamond District.
Get your popcorn ready.
Anything that I need, David, whatever it takes. Popcorn, peanuts, hell, ice cream. We'll bring it all.
So there you have it. It's a hump day. We're getting over it together. Early signing day is probably the biggest part of today. Unless some games give us a thrill tonight. Trent will have the play of the day tomorrow. All right. Who knows what it'll be? Could be lacrosse.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home,